Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every single Friday where we ask a juicy question and we blend our energies together. And it is a good time, and hopefully it is informative and cathartic, or helps you move some kind of an energy or have an aha moment. But that is what we do here every single Friday. And today our juicy question is, why didn't it work out? And this was requested over on Patreon. It was one of the topics that we vote on, because we vote on our topics over there that we do every single month. And it did not win, but people were saying that they just wish that we could do something like this and that it would bring a lot of clarity. And so we just decided to do it on the live stream. So before we get into this though, I have a couple of thank yous. I want to say thank you to Jess, because you sent me your Oracle deck, the Goodfellow Garden, and I really, really like it. It's high quality. I don't know where to send people if they want to order it, but that's what it looks like. And I might use it today. I used it in the Patreon reading, but also that was the first time that I gave somebody like an address to send something to, and it was a very pleasant experience. You didn't send me anything weird, and like your letter was so nice. And I also want to say thank you to Ashley for yesterday, and you know what I'm talking about, and I just want to say thank you. So just moving on from there, getting into our reading. So like I said, why did it not work out? So we do have an anchor card for this one, and surprise, surprise, but it's the underworld. Dun dun dun, the underworld. So the anchor card is not a choice. It's not one of the piles that you can choose from, but it is a common energy that goes into all of the piles. And so it's that kind of underworld, composty, shadow work kind of vibe to this. So I'm just going to leave that up there, because I feel like we read the cards together. I pick up on the general messages that are more general, but you might also get specific energies for your particular situation. So we'll move into the pile selection. If you have not selected your pile yet, now is the time to do so. But even if you have, this is the time in the live stream where we just break all the rules of the internet and we go completely silent. We turn our gaze inwards. We connect with the part of ourselves that is beyond the daily chatter, having a phone number and bills to pay and even hopes and dreams and things that you're going to do later this afternoon. It's the part that is just beneath all of that, the quiet observer. And so I like to put my hands on my heart. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure that you're in a comfortable position. And I like to take one full breath and then let my breathing kind of peter out into normal and just kind of become aware of my breathing and of my body and of myself. But however you want to do that, we're going to go ahead and do that now. So and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and your hearts and your minds, and you can come back to this present moment here with all of us and the spread that is in front of you, and be drawn in to whatever stack or multiple stacks you are drawn into. Keeping in mind, I like to set the intention that everything that goes on here in this space can be a clarifying message of some kind, and it can deepen my understanding of myself, my connection to spirit. And so you might find out something about the way your intuition is moving in general, or overall in this situation. I just heard the word blame. You might find out like where the blame is going in this situation, even just based on how you get drawn into your pile, especially with these general messages. That's one of the higher purposes, I think, of doing general pick a card messages, because it's not like the information is just being kind of like spoon-fed to you. It is something that is such an interactive, full-bodied experience for all of us to have. So, and I don't think I said this, but here's pile number one. In case you're wondering which way it goes, pile number one is the offering, pile number two is the mentor, and pile number three is the box. And so I'll just put this up here again so you can know which one is your pile. And then, of course, that is the bunny butt over there, which will kind of be pile number four, which is like the general messages. You'll see. It's like a whole thing. I'm joking. No, I'm not. I mean, it really is there. We do like a general message that's not at all attached to the topic, any messages that come through later on. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, so we're going to go into pile number 1, bunny butt, bunny butt. Pile number 1. Oh, you can hear the birds chirping in the background? Nice. Yeah, we try to leave the window open, but inevitably somebody's going to choose to do yard work during this time of the day. Okay, so pile number 1. Why did it not work out? Let me just compassion this space. And that kind of feels like a poignant message, but also I feel like Hecate a little bit with this, like my little lantern, my lantern of light and healing and compassion. And like it's flicking it all around in this space. I actually feel like this is a part of the message here, compassion. But it's Hecate, that like kind of light energy. And Hecate, of course, goes in after Persephone into the underworld here. So Hecate might be heavily involved in this, but it does feel like there's like a shadow work kind of a vibe. Yeah, and a Persephone kind of a vibe where she gets kind of sucked in to the underworld. And this has to do with female archetypes, but you know, Persephone, of course, is like the young maiden. But to me, I do think that there is like a female path where Persephone turns into Hecate because you have such resonance and such empathy with that journey. It's like the female protector. There's some kind of protector energy, maybe that it's like sparking that. But okay, so, or why it didn't work out could be because there is that kind of a figure here. So if you're wondering, there could have been some kind of like, yeah, I'm noticing the eyeball here. Ugh. So yeah, there was some kind of like dirty eyeball, but there's some kind of protective eyes on this is what I'm getting, whether that's etheric, like in the energy realms, but it feels like the Hecate presence has like kind of intervened in order to compassionately hold the light to illuminate what's going on here in this space. Okay, I'm actually channeling a lot of messages for this just here right out the gate because I feel like, okay, I feel like schmegs actually is the reason that maybe something here didn't work out. I'm hearing that, but I'm also seeing like the moon card in my mind, which is like some kind of secret. So I feel like there was some kind of secret schmegs. And I think that could go a lot of different ways in this pile because I think this is like a situation that involves multiple people. And this is the energy that all of these people have in common, or like that some kind of secret schmegs experience is what is illuminating some kind of shadow work material for every person involved in this particular situation. But there's a different way that this secret schmegs energy is affecting this situation and is in some way the answer to this question, why did it not work out? So I think there's one person here that was just kind of maybe being used for schmegs, like they just only wanted a secret schmegsual situation for whatever reason. It could be because they had something else going on. With the moon here, there could be a family, or the moon can also be like illusions, and it can be quite a beautiful illusion as well. And also the moon reflects the sun's light. So it could be that somebody here seemed like they were a light bringer in some way, but was actually just a light reflector, but it was kind of lighting up a certain kind of darkness. But you know, the full moon is as bright as it's going to get. It's not going to get ever as bright as the day, but somebody here could have like kind of thought that. So that could have been an illusion here as well. So that's one way that could have gone on. Another way is that maybe I feel like there could be a person here, again, that Persephone almost energy, maybe that this Hecate energy is coming in for, that maybe was made aware of some kind of secret schmegsual situation, or somebody was in a partnership and their partner became aware that there was some kind of secret schmegsual situation. So somebody here could have been pretending to be, again, like something that they weren't to that person. And this cycle, because I'm kind of getting cycle energy with the moon, this cycle is kind of over and done. And whoever is probably the masculine that's like in this secret schmegsual situation, although it could be a feminine here, take that if it resonates. Whoever's involved in that, there's some kind of insecurity, or there's, again, like some kind of cycle or pattern, and all of that is connected to shame, I'm hearing. So the secret schmegs energy is kind of just the surface level of like some kind of hidden or secret or buried shame, which is why it's expressing in this manner. It's why somebody here got sucked into that, or everybody, because it feels like everybody has been touched by this in some way, shape, or form. And it's that shame, that secrecy and the shame, and unlocking and actually processing the shame to do with it. And that's the Hecate energy of like actually like highlighting it. And you know what? Oh my gosh. And like there could have been like a dirty offer here as well, because I'm noticing like this it's a child's hand, right? So I kind of feel like there could be attachment issues here. So this is kind of like the processing vibe, you know, that's the overall energy of this. But with the moon being here and this child's hand, it's like there's attachment issues that's leading to the secret schmegs. And it could be that somebody doesn't think, or maybe all of these people don't think that they're worthy of something maybe in the light of day or something like more bright. Sunny Night Designs, thank you so much for the super chat. So yeah, like I think it has something to do with, but also it has to do with like maybe vulnerability or, you know, a child is not fully developed. They're still like learning something. So it's also to help teach and guide and learn something. But I also feel like there was a dirty offer here in some way that was dressed up as like sweet or innocent. And I think the reason that that dirty offer is there is because somebody here is like very childish, or they're acting out their childhood patterns or something. They actually do need help, but this is kind of giving like victim, rescuer, persecutor. But anyways, I'm seeing this like kind of shame kind of thing. And you guys, the way this is coming through for me, it's like I have this pond. We have a pond, and it's not big at all. It's like actually a very small pond, just right off of our living room. And it's been in like disarray since we moved in, because our house is like older and it's kind of a fixer upper. And I just always wanted that pond to be like a pretty space, like kind of to restore it. And so this last weekend I got out there and I put my rubber boots on and I was like, I'm going to try to clean this up. Well, the net that I was using was too flimsy. There was so much gunk in there that like it was going to like snap. Like it felt like the stick was going to snap. So I had to like get in there with my hands. And then even like when I was in there was so much more that was like coming out of it. It was like more and more and more and more and more than like I even realized. And I had to like move all these rocks around. And I was like, this is going to take me a while. Basically, like I can do as much as I can do here in this like one time, because also like the birds and the squirrels and stuff like drink from that pond, and I wanted them to have like healthier water. And so I had in my mind that it was going to be entirely pristinely clear. But then I just kind of realized that the nature of this pond is it's never going to be like crystal clear or anything like that. I can only do what I can do. So I think that's kind of like a part of it as well. But that pond energy, it's very much that like swampy energy. And I always with the swamp, I always think of like Brené Brown, where she connects that to shame and she connects it to vulnerability, and she talks about putting your galoshes on. I literally did all of that like this last weekend, and it seemed small, you know, because the pond is not very big, but it was still like a lot of work. I mean, it took me all day and I'm like completely sore. So I feel like, and it worked muscles in me that like I didn't even know that it was working, and it was a full body workout for sure. And I've been sore ever since, and I've had to kind of like stretch and stuff. So it's I feel like to initiate everybody involved in this experience in that version for themselves, like they have their own swampy, shamey thing, and it may maybe look small, but it's actually an offering. I feel like this situation is actually an offering for spirit, but there's like a higher vibration, there's a higher purpose than whatever is going on in the mundane, whatever is going on in the 3D. And it feels like there's something about you have to connect with truth. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm connecting this pile back to, if you've been on my channel before, I think it came out originally in pile number 1, where I was seeing this beautiful like woman and a child, and she was in a river. And she was like statued there, which statue to me is like trauma, and it's like frozen in time. So something here's like frozen here, right? But oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so I just saw like 2 sides of like a bank, and then like there's a river in the middle. So this could also have something to do with money. So I saw you on one side, and it's like you need to get over to the other side, but you have to cross this river to do it. The river is not what it seems. Things aren't always what they seem, is what I'm getting. So it's why didn't this work out? It's because things are not always what they seem. And I think everybody in this situation has had to realize that. And the reason that they didn't realize it is because of this like buried shame. But I'm hearing, you know, so the river thing is something that I pick up on a lot. And then there's Egyptian energy here. And I literally just heard that stupid joke that's like, denial is a river in Egypt. I feel like this river is a river of denial. You have to, in some way, this situation is denial. So the reason it didn't work out is because you, and I think everybody honestly involved in this situation in some way, shape, or form is in denial about something that they're confronted with, like in another person, something, you know, because you could be thinking, I thought you were the prince, but it turns out you were the dragon that I needed to slay in order to slay. In order to have self-love. I just heard lose you to love me. I had to lose you to love me. I had to hate you to find me, kind of thing. Like, but also, yeah, like it could be that friends are not at all what they seem. I feel like there's somebody here. I feel like, again, it's like this divine feminine energy, this Persephone energy that was in denial, I think, about shadow in general in other people. And I'm hearing from Pride and Prejudice, which might be themes here. But Lizzie, who's very shrewd and kind of nobody's fool, and ahead of her time, and that Hecate energy very much. But Jane is her older sister, actually, who's very sweet. And she says, oh, Jane, all the world is good and agreeable in your eyes. But the world is not good and agreeable always. And so I feel like there's that kind of energy of like, you're just in denial that some people will actually sneak around behind the scenes. They're trying to, like, for selfish reasons, or, yeah. And I'm even hearing my mom when I was like 18 years old and my boyfriend had cheated on me, and she's like, he can love you and still do that to you. And I couldn't fathom that, And so I feel like there's something here that someone like could not fathom. But also I think that these two who are maybe sleeping together behind the scenes, they really misread each other, because one person's in denial that they're really just being used by this other person. There's no feelings there. It really is just for schmegs. It was kind of low hanging fruit. It was a forbidden fruit. It was easy. It was gratifying. It was primate. It was of the material. But they're in denial about that for some reason, because they're falling for some kind of illusion that this person, again, they might have also thought this person is like a Prince Charming or a Princess Charming or whatever. And then, there's I feel like the man involved in this, or whoever's, again, cheating behind the scenes, they probably involved with someone that they thought they could control, like behind the scenes, maybe even in a partnership, they thought they can control. Things aren't always what they seem, is what I'm getting. But also going back to this denial as a river in Egypt, it feels almost like trolling. It feels almost like my guides that are giving me this message, I'm kind of looking at them sideways, like, because it is kind of my sense of humor, but also it feels like, okay, so you've been giving me all these like metaphors and stuff to try to piece this together in order to make that lame, stupid joke. Like, did you really think that I was going to laugh at that? Like, this is not the time or the place. Like, so there's something here about like context and, but it's teaching you like, yes, everything plays its part is what I'm getting. Like, there could be an energy here, like that part of this reading could be somebody, but that feels like on the periphery where they're trying to confuse, or somebody here could be trying to baffle, or they could have a really stupid, childish sense of humor. And I don't mean childish that's actually like fun and playful. I mean like it's really not actually funny. It's kind of giving like, I don't know what it's, I know what it's giving, but I don't want to use that example. But like, it's just, you're kind of like, huh? But it's all kind of playing its part in order to like basically unearth the shame. But this situation on the 3D didn't work out because of a hidden schmegsual situation. Maybe it wasn't as hidden as people thought that it was. And it's because, and also it didn't work out is because somebody here is in denial. So you or other people, I feel like it's true for everybody involved in the situation in one way or another. It feels like I'm seeing like one of the cards from actually this deck, the mirror card, where it's like a shard of mirror. And I feel like everybody has these kind of shards of mirror, and everybody in their own way is kind of like defensive, and therefore like kind of not able to process what it is that they're confronted with, either in another person or perhaps in themselves as well. They don't want to admit that people are like this, or that they're like this, or so. Being in denial is being in delusion. It is a form of delusion because it's an ego defense mechanism. So they're not acquainted with truth. So this didn't work out because you didn't have the truth about somebody or yourself or multiple people in this situation, because everybody, I feel like certain people here are hiding their own toxicity. They're hiding their own strategy in order to present an illusion. And if you think, if you know that you've done this, and it could even be in a benign way, like if you think that you've done this, well, other people are doing this as well. So all it does is obscure the truth. And the truth, because I just saw you go to the bottom of this pond, and it's like you're floating down there and you're trying, and you reach in the mud and like to get the key. And Hecate, that's another symbol of the key, of Hecate for me too. And the high priestess as well, like has the two, or no, that's the Hierophant that has the two keys. Well, sometimes the high priestess is also holding two keys. So I feel like you needed to get maybe two keys, like you needed to unlock, like there's certain doors that you need the key to unlock, but it's like you had to admit to yourself that you've been in denial, or you've not been dealing in the truth. You didn't see the landscape clearly. Things aren't always what they seem. And I think like for this guy, like they could have a partner that they thought was maybe ever forgiving, and always going to love them and not strong and wouldn't stand up for themselves, or would be too stupid to pick out like what it was that they were doing. Well, that person's not that way at all. And so that's one way that they're in denial. And they could be blaming that person and saying, oh, well, I guess you weren't as sweet as I thought you were. And it's like, I'm just smart and I don't feel like I should be abused by you to maintain a relationship with you. And that's our disagreement, but they can't admit that to themselves, because then they'd have to admit that they got caught out and that this is the kind of person that maybe falls for their own delusion, falls for their own bullshit. And they're like, I'm sweet as pie. And you would always want to be with me. They can't recognize that their behavior is something that somebody wouldn't want to be with, but they do recognize it, because why are they hiding it? They know that if it was out in the open, that they would not be seen as like the perfect partner, or that it would be seen as abusive, or whatever. So they're hiding it, and everybody here is hiding a certain something here, and I think that is why it didn't work out. So again, just to kind of keep hitting the nail on the head, because I feel like we're building this. It didn't work out because of shame. It didn't work out because of some kind of secret schmegdual situation that went on. That maybe wasn't as secret as people thought, or they misunderstood why they were being kept a secret, because they thought, oh, it's just, they were told, I think, it's because of this reason or for that reason, and not because that person had no intentions of ever they didn't want that relationship to be their main relationship. They never wanted that. And this person that's involved, I think, kind of knows that, which is why they're kind of subtly seeking to destroy that, or to have it not be a secret situation, at the very least to the partner or something. They want it outed because that's the only way to destroy that relationship, and for them to have like even a shot at being the main person. So everybody knows more truth actually than they're willing to consciously like admit to in this situation. So the secret smegs thing is the first one, which is all happening because of some kind of secret shame and insecurity, and maybe not feeling worthy, or not being able to admit like what they're doing. Mama Heat, thank you so much for the super chat. Curious about how you feel about return to sender spells. Maybe I'll answer that like later when we're done with the reading. But yeah, so it's the secret schmegs. That's why. And that there could be, and I want to remind you, there's somebody with their eye on this connection, and it is a hecate energy. So that could be in 3D. That could be in meat space, where there's like maybe an older female, or there's somebody here with wisdom that like is seeing this situation and maybe has alerted somebody or protected somebody in some way. Or it could be an energy that's very protective and saw this, or it could be that people in this situation have actually found out about what was going on behind the scenes. All of that's happening because of some kind of inner shame. So this is meant to illuminate and have you see with the light of the moon, which is a very gentle, nurturing, motherly light here. This hecate energy is here for everybody involved in the situation to try and help them. But poking a hole through the denial is something that has to happen. It has to occur. And so if you make this energy wrestle with you in order to get you to face truth, because it's almost giving like Job in the Bible that like wrestled with God, is if God is truth. So it's almost like you're wrestling with the truth. Then if you're going to wrestle with the truth, like I feel like if you're going to make it wrestle with you, I feel like you're going to get hurt, And then there might even be more denial about that, about maybe the nature of God, the loving nature of God. But you have to break free from this illusion in order to understand something about yourself, or to really break free of this cycle is what's kind of going on here. In order for you to accept some kind of other offering, one that is like genuinely vulnerable. Yeah, and I feel like there's a higher purpose to this. And at the bottom of this deck here is the Five of Angels, which is the five of Swords, and in this deck it's withdrawal. And so there could be addiction issues here, because with the moon and like there's some kind of like under the night kind of thing, like somebody here could have a schmegs addiction or something, and they were having like withdrawal symptoms. And so they acted out in some kind of way. That could be a possibility. But the Five of Angels, to me, it's like it is competitive energy. It's argumentative energy whereby you can't win. And the Five of Swords, usually it's a guy, I don't know, there's a strength to the Five of Swords, where to me it's like there's usually a sneaky kind of guy, and has like some kind of strength that he's been working on, to where he feels like other people can't win. And so kind of cloaks that. And that's the sneaky energy of like, I'm so built up in my addiction and living this double life that you'll never discover me. But what it actually ends up doing, we create our own karmas. It is the barrier. It is the obstacle to them actually having fulfillment and release and liberation and happiness and innocence, and therefore strength. Like, because strength, innocence is the seed of nobility, is something that I've channeled before. And so, it is the thing that's actually blocking them. And it'd be only because they're so short-sighted, and their short-sighted is short-sighted of the flesh and some kind of devil energy. And they only want something here in the short term. And they don't have the wisdom to see in the long term and to see the holism of the person that they are. And that the power that when you don't divide yourself up like that to live a double life, to be sneaking around in one way, that there's a power to that, but it can only come through holism. And to be fully whole requires a certain nobility and a certain honesty and a certain truth. So it's only a gift that the divine can give, and it's meant to kind of connect that. And once you realize that, you will withdraw from the situation with this withdrawal energy, because the ego cannot win, and the ego is not meant to win this situation for everybody that's involved. So I feel like there's a tower moment here, an ego collapse, because the ego is who you think you are. And even if you think you're Susie Cream Cheese, and that you are just such a sweet, nice, kind person, which I'm sure you are most of the time, even a lot of the time, but not all of the time. Nobody buys that in a person, that you're never bothered, and you're never triggered, and you're never mean, or you're never angry. Nobody buys that in a person. And that's not to say that you should just be that in public, all the time. But it's just about a balance, right? And so there's something here of just withdrawing your energy from the situation until there's truth offered. And I think for a lot of you, you're realizing that your fulfillment doesn't belong here. It's not to be found here. What's to be found here is the digging around for the keys in pile number 1, and actually getting eyes on this. And to realize that you had the power all along. And there is there's a predation energy here as well. Sometimes I pick up on this energy and I don't say it enough, but it's like somebody here could have been watching a child as well. I don't really like to pick up on that energy, but it's just something to be aware of. Protect your kids, Don't have people around your kids that you haven't run a background check on. Okay, so anything else here? All right, so why didn't this work out in pile number 1? Okay, there's something here about perseverance. Hold on. And love. Depression. Equilibrium. Okay. This is so funny that Mama He was just asking about return to sender. I feel like there is some kind of return to sender here. There's some kind of, I just saw a boomerang and it just, somebody here has persevered is why. And in this perseverance, look at this energy where it's this person is sweating and they look very sad, but they're having an inner experience and they've persevered through whatever it was. And it's literally them burning off their karma. And I feel like that's maybe what they needed to do, is just to persevere and to turn the gaze inwards. And by doing so, they connected with a pure energy of love, and they maybe learned how to love themselves or something here. And that was the point of it. But also I feel like somebody here has done that. And that's why some kind of tricks are not working anymore. I feel like somebody's not taking the bait here. And it's because they've healed and they've grown. And I heard somebody explain, they explained healing as a bad thing. And I think it's so funny. Semantics are so funny because we all relate to words and concepts differently. But a lot of times we're trying to say the same thing. And so this person was saying, they were saying don't heal from a situation. You should grow and they were saying when you heal up, if I get a scratch here and it heals up, it returns me to normal. And she said, and it's so obvious that if that's what you're doing, you're a masochist. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could see it from her perspective. And I was like, it is obvious, isn't it? If all you want to do is heal up, and then it goes back to normal, but you don't understand that there was a certain situation that it hurt you to begin with. So don't just heal up and be in the same situation. It's about growing and it's about evolving. And I actually think this is a superpower that a lot of women have, because I don't know about you, but it's every time I've gone through a breakup and all of my friends, they kind of find a way to springboard and grow from it. Whereas I feel if a man loses a good woman, that breaks him. If it's an actual good woman, I feel they don't bounce back as much. I don't know. But yeah, so somebody here is actually persevered, and somebody else here, it's has depression, and it kind of looks the same here, but maybe this looks very similar to me. So maybe in the past where they would have had depression, they made it productive and they actually persevered and they chopped wood and carried water. Do you know what I'm saying? They found their divine balance. They found their inner peace. They found their equilibrium against impulse. For some of these people, they could just be very impulsive. And that could link back to that withdrawal energy. But also it could be to do with a manipulator. Somebody here is just a manipulator and somebody here has found their balance point is why. So why did it not work? Somebody here has changed they have not just healed, they have grown from the situation, and they're out of the cycle, or I think they're out of the cycle actually. And I think for a lot of you, maybe this is you. So this is why this didn't work, is because they've grown and they've made something here productive. And so they're not the same. They're not the same. I feel like they might look very similar on the surface, but internally there is a major difference. And again, they're telling me innocence is the seed of nobility. And I think somebody here mistook someone's innocence for weakness or for stupidity. And innocence and weakness and stupidity are not necessarily the same thing. Innocence it can be inexperienced, but inexperience it's not somebody being dumb, you know? And I feel like somebody could have thought that about a person, but they learn really quickly. Lightheart Alchemist, thank you so much for the super chat. Elvis sounds. Yeah, so they got that. Their innocence actually grew. So this person could have just been young, or like young in the game of something, and they wised up really quickly because they're actually very smart. Things are not always what they seem. The people in this situation are not what they seem. Your first impression of every person in this situation, and I'm talking every person in this situation, because there's a fixation here. You have a fixation on like one person, but everybody involved in this situation, possibly including yourself, is not how they originally seem. And this entire situation is about bringing that shadow part out. Whether it's somebody's trying to hide a nefarious part of themselves that they're not wanting to deal with directly, they just want to let it run amok. That's a type of weakness, and it's a kind of corruption. And it's a corruption, like we're talking about integrity, like when you have a vessel or like a body, a structure, when it is corrupted, it is unintegral, it's weak, and it falls. That's what somebody here who thinks they're all tough and high and mighty because they're corrupted, they're actually weak. They're actually insecure. They're brittle. They're going to like break. So yeah, it's because things are not as they seem in this situation. And I think there's a lot of lying to oneself and misunderstanding actually in this situation when you're trying to understand it because of the denial. The denial in this pile is so strong. So I would really watch it. If you think that you have, and know what the prize is. The prize is you removing from this cycle. And if you haven't done that yet, it's because you don't have the truth. And if you think that you're very strong in the truth of somebody else, always make sure that you're looking at yourself. Do you have the truth of yourself in this situation? That's the keys. There's two keys. The key is about the other, and the key about yourself, I feel like, is what it is. And it's about unlocking a certain door. And it's possibly connecting with a mercurial energy as well, because Mercury can unlock certain doors. And this is a hard one to unlock, and Mercury can be like, I'm kind of connecting it with like an eccentricity. But also it could be that having conversations, but this is like not trying to hide anything. Having very direct, truthful conversation is the only way, I think, to get out of this. And you might need to have it with two people, or there might be two people that owe a direct conversation to you, and you would know if they're lying. But they're inclined to lie, just know. They're inclined to lie. They're inclined to be slippery. They're inclined to try to save face and to hide their version of events is what I'm getting. They're trying to cake it, cover it, because they're trying to, I think, destroy something here in order to profit, or they're just trying to keep this, somebody here is trying to keep this narrative going, but somebody else has like left that behind. So yeah. He ain't nothing but a F-boy, lying all the time. Yeah. So I think that's really it. I'm just going to, because I have this new deck here, I'm just going to ask if there's anything else to add, but I think we're just going to move on from pile number 1. And I think that's the point, is to kind of, it's to move on from a cycle. I feel like if you can move on from a cycle, and I'm talking about fully and completely, not just heal it up, but grow out of it. There could be soulmate energies that can go on the journey together, but there's somebody here, I think it's the person that's being used for sex behind the scenes that thinks it's something else. Like they shouldn't even want to be around this person who did that to them, and like they're going to leave out the back door is what I just heard. But it could be that there can actually maybe be a relationship here, but if you're not going to do that, and certainly I just heard like not in the nick of time, then this is about just withdrawing entirely from that space. But it is about leaving this behind. So, okay. Anything else that you want to say about why this didn't work out, Spirit? Rune Man, ancient knowing. Sign, stop. This is your sign to stop. I just heard. And there's something here about like this watering can. Yeah. Because what you water grows, or like, yeah, they need to take a leap of faith, like a leap of faith with communication. Yeah, and there's something about provider energy. Like it could be that there was no like stable foundation here. There was no foundation. Like you're supposed, yeah, cycles. It feels like there's no foundation in this space actually. Because just like that pond, like, I don't know, it's a pond. It's a swampy. You wouldn't build in a swamp. I don't think you would anyway. So I'm going to leave that there for pile number 1, but that's why it did not work out. Essentially, so starting on the 3D, secret schmegs. That's fueled by a secret shame that you're meant to look at here. And all of that kind of could have been outed, but that links back to family, attachment issues. But also things are not always as they seem, because all of that combined together you're sucked into it and you maintain that cycle because of denial. And denial is a type of delusion. And so everybody that's been touched by the situation does not have the truth about one or more things and one or more people in this situation, including possibly themselves. That's why this didn't work out. And if you are the manipulator asking about this, that's why it didn't work out, is because you think that you're running things behind the scenes, like that you're a puppet master, but some puppet master you are, because you don't even have the truth about yourself, and you don't even have the truth about these other people that are involved. And so you're trying to do your machinations, but your machinations occur in meat space, which is 3D reality, which you are unacquainted with. And so it didn't have the expected outcome because you are not operating from a place of truth. And so this is like in science, this is why I love the scientific method. The scientific method it's high knowledge, because you have a theory and you build an experiment that checks your theory. But when it comes back that your theory doesn't work, you need to go back to the drawing board and say, what did I get wrong? Clearly, I do not have the truth about this. There's some kind of fundamental, my hypothesis that I'm testing here is not true. So you need to understand that it is a hypothesis, and you need to reacquaint yourself with the hypothesis to find out what the actual truth is in this situation. And that's what you're meant to do, which is going to lead you to shadow work, peeling back the layer and layer and layer. Brought to light tons of childhood issues and programming. So I broke the cycle. So deceptive and cunning. And you have to collude with it, like in a certain way, because even if it's because it's overwhelming to see the truth of it, isn't it? It's overwhelming. So that's why it's like, take it baby step at a time. Have that compassion. It's the soft light of the moon, that Hecate energy of just little bit by little bit by little bit. And you might need, this is a flip of the healthy cycle energy as well, because this cycle played out, I think, for multiple lifetimes. So just understand how entrenched that is. But you're flipping that cycle energy on its head, but that's with healing, and it's with this genuine moon energy. That's a genuine mothering energy. It's a genuine, soft lighting energy, but it's also cyclical. So we're going to go back around and around and around in cycles to kind of peel back the layer of the onion so that you are not overwhelmed, because to look at the truth of the situation in its totality is a trauma experience. It would traumatize you to see it all at one time, and your guides know that, and this loving energy knows that. So it's just slowly walking you out of the forest. It's slowly getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Okay. Compassion. Cheating is abuse reading helped me finally see the light. Oh, I'm so glad. My nervous system has finally felt safe enough to admit I was being abused. Yo, that reading was profound for me as well. Like, at first I was like, am I really just supposed to do a reading about this one single sentence? Because they just kept saying that. That's all I was supposed to really relay, is cheating is abuse, cheating is abuse, cheating is abuse. Like, yeah. And your nervous system gets tied in with that abuse cycle, right? Like, yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, BT said, when you say turning the gaze inwards, I giggle because this situation took place in an LGBTQ space. Sounds like you've been saying turn the gaze inward. That's so funny. I said that on Patreon one time too, because like that's what I picture in my mind, is like just all the gays actually like just self-identify and like turn inwards. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. So if you are a gay, you can face whatever direction you want, honey. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. And I'm certainly not trying to make you out yourself. I don't know if this is relevant to either that last pile or to this pile. It could be that sexuality in pile 1 was a thing that you weren't seeing clearly, like about another person or about yourself. And I just heard sexuality doesn't just have to do with preference of like what kind of person that you like, but it's also maybe how you express yourself sexually, something like that. All right, we'll put this back up here for the people that are just joining us. We just did pile number 1, which is the offering. So you can go back and watch that. And then we're moving on to pile number 2, which is the mentor here. We're all gay on Fridays. I'm crying because we are happy. Let's not forget the meaning of the word too. Yeah. Happiness could be another thing too that was misunderstood in pile number 1, because remember the depression card kept coming out. So it could be an illusion that somebody's feeling happy, but they're actually feeling depressed. Maybe somebody feels like they have to, always put a brave face on it. There's a lot of different ways that like that truth energy, that deception energy could be coming through. I feel like there was a lot of conversation going on here. Light of Love said, when there's nothing left to learn, move on. Yeah. And sometimes I think too, like part of the learning, it's like you've learned all that you need to learn, but it's part of it is just like the shock. Like it's just the fascination with like, oh my God. Like, and you just kind of, there can be this like preoccupation and this fixation of like, oh my God, that can slip back into denial, where you're like, is that what I'm dealing with? And you're like, no, that couldn't be true. But then like it is. And so, yeah. Yay, welcome. All right. I just got home from work and was able to get on the live stream to just get a haircut. No matter what, it looks beautiful. I did, but I did like last week or like, yeah. Oh, interesting. BT just said truth. Gays can confuse sexual liberation for fulfillment. So it's like maybe if it took you a while to overcome, like, okay, I'm out of the closet. Like I recognize that like that's what I am. That's not necessarily the same thing as fulfillment, like schmegel fulfillment or just like fulfillment of the self or even like full self-actualization or like realization is just like one component of it and it can be like confusing. That's interesting. All right. So we've had the piles up here. Let us go ahead. Actually, let me spray my rose spray, and then we're going to go ahead and go to pile number 2, which is the mentor. And it looks like a lot of people chose pile number 2 in the chat. All right. I just heard oompa, noompa, doopa dee doo. I've got another puzzle for you. Oh my gosh, interesting. And then we've got this air energy. So there's some kind of like figuring of something out with the air energy and like looking on. And then like I'm seeing it look at this mirror energy and looking at the owl. And the owl, it feels like it's this mentor energy. Somebody here is like high, like elevated. But the owl I'm seeing is like an emblem of Athena, which is, I don't know, there could be a war energy. There could be an initiation with Athena here. Why didn't it work out? Because, but I feel Athena's presence actually lurking in the background. And so yellow could be relevant. Olives, the Mediterranean, owls could be relevant. But Athena is a goddess of war, but she's a general kind of energy. Not like a general as in like generality. It's like a leader, somebody who is a strategist, who it's the thinking part of war. And that's different than Aries. That is the soldier that's more belligerent. This is like an Athena energy. So I don't know if there's like an initiation into this or if that's who you're dealing with or if that's who you are in this situation. Yeah, there's a manipulator here that's maybe trying to ambush or surprise or something, but someone has been initiated. Okay. Taken under the wing of. Somebody didn't feel ready. I'm not sure what I'm feeling. Why didn't it work? Somebody here is not guided by emotions. And somebody is entirely, but this kind of emotionality, it's Mars. It's like of a masculine energy. It's like belligerent. It is attacking. It is fire. It's anger and like rageful. While somebody else here is, I think, actually very smart, actually very observant, but calm. And they're very disciplined or they're very routined. And I think they might have some kind of experience, and it might be with a mother where they have somebody already like has been very unstable around this person. It's like nothing new. Okay, but then I just heard that song Nothing New by Taylor Swift. Huh. Yeah, so, and then I'm not sure what I'm feeling. And it's also because, now, if you feel like you're the person that is more maybe emotionally volatile or unstable at times, like where you not just experience anger, okay? Because somebody here could, there's a difference in the way these two people experience anger. Anger is like a normal human emotion. One person experiences anger, but it doesn't consume them. Like they're not consumed by anger where it just runs the show. But somebody else is more like that. And so they think if they can put a person in a position of anger that they're going to like lash out. But somebody here is not like that because they can feel anger like any person, but I just heard it's immensely tied to the energy of justice. So somebody here feels anger when something is not fair or when something is not just, but they're just not belligerent. And I think this person who is this volatile energy, they don't understand that something here is like meant to turn them inwards to explore their own anger. I'm not sure what I'm feeling because anger is usually a secondary emotion and they're feeling some kind of other emotion towards this higher being. I want to say there's two people that are not on the same level at all, but somebody wants to equate themselves or they want to pull somebody into the ring or they want to pull somebody down into the mud. And somebody here is just not falling for it. And this almost looks like an explosion to me in the background, and this owl's just like kind of moving away. But yeah, there's just like an elevation that's gone on. Elevated above the underworld, actually. Yeah, look, Mars and Aquarius. Somebody is really trying to like out-strategize somebody here. But they're not the strategic energy. Athena is the strategy of war. Aries is a belligerent a-hole. No, you're not. You're very brave. And you're very courageous, but you're not Athena's energy. And that's what I'm trying to say. Right? Like, somebody's trying to boom, like here. And maybe this isn't a fight. This could be a sexual energy as well of like a friend that's trying to spring something on somebody here. It feels like a very ambushing energy. And ambush is, oh my gosh, I just heard ambush is as far as this person's strategy can get. This Aries energy, ambush is their version of strategy. It's their only version of strategy. And it's not actually very like intellectual or intelligent or well thought. And it's all, they're keeping something like in their throat. But I also feel like somebody else here sees this for what it is. Somebody else, this Athena energy. So this is Aries and Athena. And I feel like it's easy to get them conflated because both of them deal in the arena of war. But Athena is wisdom. She literally rules over wisdom and like the art of war is what I'm getting. Whereas Aries is more, it's more, I'm getting like reactionary. Like I'm seeing somebody just like the way Aries energy just came through and was like, the way I understand war is by doing and just like jumping in and like, just doing. I'm seeing somebody like with a stick, like twirling a stick or something like, and it's fluid and it's an intellect of the body. Like it's very kinesthetic energy. And so somebody has done that in order to try, they have to do that to learn. But this Athena energy doesn't learn that way. So you have two very different people here or two very different styles. So for some of you, maybe this is within you. I think for most of you, this is like playing out in the 3D. There's two very different people here. And if you're just looking at a cursory energy, it's like both of these have to do with war. So they're the same thing. They're not the same thing. Not at all. Is everything okay, babe?
Yeah.
Is it Luna?
Yeah.
So Luna, I read with my cats.
She's been insistent this whole time on just constant attention.
Luna has been, so attention can be a thing here, but Luna, she's very lovey. She's like been over there, like jumping up on the desk and like, being in front of Alex, and Alex is trying to like, maybe not be like so involved with her. And so it's like lovey energy. So love and war could be themes here. And attention. Somebody also could mistake love for attention. And it's that Aries energy of just like, I just jump in and I twirl my stick around because I want your attention on me. And when your attention is on me and when you're fighting back, I feel loved. I feel engaged with. But they don't know like a higher way of doing that. They don't know a wiser way of doing that, a more holistic way. So they are meant to learn. So somebody here you have two people here or two energies. Like again, if this is two energies inside of yourself, like maybe that you feel pulled in between, they learn very differently and they operate very differently. And I feel like you're meant to kind of, obviously Athena and Aries must work together in order to accomplish some kind of like victory in war, but I feel like they're meant to learn something from each other here. Yeah, look, it has something to do with like love. Maybe not. Oh my gosh, this is like weird, twisted up love energy. I feel like it's this Aries energy because Aries deals with like lust and passion, but also Aries has an affair with Aphrodite in the myths. And Aphrodite is bored, and because she was given to Hephaestus, the forger man, and he's obsessed with work. But it's like the blood pumping energy is like what Aries relates to as love, but that's more akin to addiction or something. And so somebody here has a weird way of expressing love, and I feel like it's annoying to the other person. I'm sorry if this is you, but I feel like it's annoying to somebody else here, where they find it immature, or they don't like it actually, and so their instinct is not to just jump in. Their instinct is Athena. It's wisdom. It's I observe first, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. And also Athena is a strategist. She plays things out like into the future. So this Aries energy that just wants to jump in with everybody, and that's the way that they experience love. I mean, what is that in the future, right? It's affairs. It's fighting. It's maybe this is the guy that like maybe just hits you like in the heat of an argument, you know, because he doesn't pause. He doesn't think. He can't control himself. It's like a one-trick pony almost with this Mars energy, and it needs to be overcome. Is what I just heard. It needs to be overcome. And somebody you can kind of like see that. And so I think this Athena energy has really held in something. And I actually think whatever they need to say to this Aries person, it would cause some kind of growth. But they're not going to say it until he settles down. And it might not be a he, keep in mind, like until, and again, this could be going on inside of you where there's a higher thing that there's a higher, your observer mind or something, or your guides, like they can't get through to, and they're waiting until Aries sits down, calms down, and the energy is calm, and the space is ripe for listening and compassion and giving and receiving. Somebody can't even really get into that energy because they seek this love energy out in a way that's fighting, in a way that's impulsive, and so they're constantly agitated. And because they're constantly agitated, it's like they're right. I just heard that Justin Bieber song. It's like something driving the edge of the knife. I don't know what song that is, but that might be relevant to somebody. But because they're constantly agitated and they jump in, and they're also reading. They're reading somebody's body here. And this Athena person wouldn't give much away. You know, because first of all, Athena, one of the symbols of Athena is a woman dressed in armor. So there's a confusing energy coming off of this Athena as well, because it's the female energy, which again, like you usually associate with that. But then the covered in the armor, which I'm kind of getting like this. It's like very cold and shiny and reflective. Very cold and shiny and reflective. And I'm almost getting like the armor that I'm seeing Athena in, it's shiny armor. And, you know, it used to be an insult to be like, your armor is so shiny because it means you have not seen the heat of battle. And maybe Athena doesn't fight much. She fights mentally in a strategic way. And to her, success in a battle is nobody coming to breach her boundaries, the boundaries of her city. If she does her job well, her city does not fall under siege. You know, it's regularly. It's preventative. Something here is like preventative, and Aries is like, why be preventative? Like, this is my function. Like, and just like jumps in. But the shininess of the armor, it's like reflective. It reflects back. And so I think this Aries energy is, I'm seeing the Aries like kind of stalking and like, but they're seeing themselves move in Athena's armor. And Athena is not doing that. This Athena person is not moving back, but they're seeing themselves move. So this is like a projection energy. I just heard the word synergy. I just feel like this is a very synergistic energy. It can be if it's productive, but each person has to understand that the other operates entirely, and I mean entirely, different than they do, and they have a lot to learn from this other person. But it is true that one person here is more childish, actually, and they need to level themselves up. And only when they level themselves up can they teach Athena something, a thing or two. And I think it's about battle, actually. Because Athena is formidable. Like this Athena that I'm seeing in my mind, okay, is formidable. But I don't think she's not going to win. Again, because she's a woman, she knows I'm not going to get in there and fight Aries and win in a brawl. I'm not going to. But Aries wants to pull Athena in and be like, let me fight you. And it's like, this is not, and if this is a love situation, this is not the energy between a man and a woman. It's just not. Somebody's going to get hurt and maybe did. And it's a misuse of the masculine energy because it should be protective of his family and his, again, Athena, I'm seeing her as like protecting a city, protecting a community, protecting her love, protecting her family. It's not, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you. And it's fucked up that you want me to fight you, actually. And so there's a real staying away. But this Aries energy is entirely not self-reflective. And the closest they can get is seeing themselves move in Athena's shiny armor. And so, yes, there's a recognition that these two have something to teach each other. But the problem is they're not at all on the same level. And Aries has to level up. And I just saw from like Mario, when they eat like a certain mushroom or something, he's like, do, 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 do. Like, you know, so Aries has to like, do, 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 like level up to where, and you can kind of think of this as like Aries needs to no longer be a soldier. Aries needs to get promoted to, I don't know what the promotions are, lieutenant, and then like general, or maybe it's general and then lieutenant. I don't know. But like needs to get promoted up to where they understand that you don't just jump in and react. Because it's almost that energy of like, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And to Aries, everything looks like a fight. So level up out of that, because it's a one-trick pony kind of energy. It's not working. And they do have something to teach Athena, because Athena is like, maybe, I think Aries needs to teach Athena how to fight, how to get in there, and how to kind of like maybe brawl and not to be afraid, and when to jump in. But he doesn't know that himself, this Aries. Doesn't know that himself, because he just constantly jumps in. And I think he's learned a lot, probably the hard way. And Athena doesn't respect that. I think she's like, I can respect that you do have some kind of like animalistic type knowledge, but the fact that you have to jump in and learn everything the hard way, it's not something that she respects. He needs to become something that she respects in order for him to be able to give his gift to her. But so there's a sequence here that needs to be accounted for. These two have something that they're meant to teach each other, or that not that they're meant to, that they can. But Aries has to decide to be on Athena's level. And he'll know, because she'll open the door. But he wants to keep pushing. This Aries energy wants to keep pushing, and she doesn't respect it. And she feels endangered, and not just for herself, but for others as well. And she's not wrong about it. And rarely is this Athena energy wrong when it comes to like this air energy. But this Aries energy, regardless of if it is a very masculine energy, but with this Virgo energy, this is a very feminine energy to me. It's protective mother energy as well with Virgo, because I'm kind of getting that like Hasta energy in the middle. Very good with their words, very slick, but it's very like Martian as well. They are trying to get in their air energy, but they're not adept in it. And so again, it's like this sneaky strategic energy that really only ever ends in an ambush, because that's as far as their mental mind can process. It's, how do I hide, camouflage, sneak around, disguise myself in order to ambush? And Athena's like, one trick pony. One trick pony is you. Like, you know, and also it's a misuse of the air energy. And because that's the other thing, is this Athena that I'm getting has heart, has courage, has valor, and serves something higher than herself. And that's what the soldier also ultimately has to learn how to do. This Aries energy, whoever this is, or this aspect of self, again, this could be like, you know, the id, the ego, and the super ego. So this could be like the id over here that's Aries, and this could be the super ego over here, and like the ego is trying to balance between the two. Like, take this however it resonates. But it just feels like this Athena energy feels like it serves something higher than themselves, and Aries energy here hasn't figured that out. They don't serve anything higher than their own ego or their own sex drive or their own anger impulse. They don't serve anything other beyond their own impulse. And they think they're on the same level as this Athena energy that does not serve herself. She serves something higher than herself, but they can't see that because they just see themselves in her shiny armor. And they are feeling like they need to persevere. But this is reminding me, there's a story about like a snake, and it was one of those binder constrictor snakes. And maybe that's like this Aries energy wants to control, wants to like bind and wrap itself around. And it's just going to suffocate something here. And it's going to like kill it. And maybe it wants to, because Aries is a war energy, and that's like kind of all it knows. But it's weirdly infused with love. It's weird. I don't understand this. They think they're loving something until it like dies. And then they just like kind of move on to the next thing. But this snake energy, I'm seeing it wrap around Athena's sword, the sword of truth. Athena's sword. and it ends itself that way. So this something about the situation is not going to go the same because they are not dealing with an equal opponent. They're not dealing with an opponent. Okay, so that's the other thing I'm hearing is that, oh my God, this Athena energy is very beautiful and very wise. And she just said the first thing, oh my God, this is such a respectable energy. But like literally, she just brought one hand down, the other hand down, which I feel like it's right and left brain. She just centered herself, brought her hands to her heart energy, and said the first thing to understand if you are to be good at war is to understand that not everything is one. First, you must understand that not everything is one. Not everything is a competition. And so if you fundamentally misunderstand the dynamics that are in front of you, then you've lost before you've begun. And I feel like that's what this Aries energy doesn't understand. To this hammer, everything is a nail. To this warrior, everything is a war. And she's saying, this situation, it's not a war between us, and it should not be. And so this is not going to go the way that you think, because this shouldn't be a war. This energy, it's not a war. I just heard that song. It's like by Jordan Sparks. Sparks is standing out to me, but I don't want this love to feel like a battlefield. Battlefield, I think is the name of the song. It's like an old song. Yeah. Whoa, that was like so profound. And I feel like that was just like a mic drop. And that was literally like the only thing that Athena has said, like in this direct meeting. And that's what I'm seeing, like, yeah. I just feel like there's something that Athena has to say, and it's beautiful and it's not warlike. And I'm seeing two people sit down at like a diplomatic, like negotiating table. And it's like, but you have to get to the diplomacy. And diplomacy is a part of war, but it's a part of peace too. It's the bridge between war and peace. But and war and peace might be another theme here too. But it's like Athena has something to say here, but she's gonna say one thing, and it says it puts a period on everything that this Aries energy is blustery. It's very blustery, and it has 1,000 things that it wants to say. And what about this? And what about this? And it wants to run circles around this Athena energy. And oh, you can't keep up with me. La 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 la. Like, you know, and this Athena energy says one thing, and it's the period to all of the sentences that this Aries energy has started. Because Aries doesn't think before it talks. It's not reflective. It's not smart, really. There's a cunning, but it's an animal kind of cunning. It's a cunning that you would find in a leopard. It's a cunning that you would find in a snake. It's a cunning that you would find in most living creatures. Very like kind of instinctive and reactionary. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. The Lightheart Alchemist, again, thank you so much for the super chat. There are specific places for competition. The rest of this only works if we do it together, and it's because she does not contend that no one else is in a position to contend with her. Yeah. That's actually, I think, a misunderstanding. Like, are you talking about this Athena energy? She does not contend that no one is in a position to contend with her. But I don't really like that. That doesn't sit right with me, because this Athena energy is very much like, you'd have to bring the war to me. And if you bring the war to me, then my space is expect to contend with me. But also she's not going to apologize for her strength. And this Aries energy, I think, expects her to actually, expects her to apologize for her strength. Wants to belittle her, wants to reduce her in some way. And she just refuses. She just is refusing to kind of, but I don't negotiate with terrorists. People always ask, why don't you just leave? It's never that simple. Yeah. Perhaps why Venus will seek not to wage war instead of Mars. Yeah, Venus is also like higher minded and a benefic, but yeah. So these energies are just extremely opposite. And also this Aries energy doesn't understand relationships, because a fundamental of relationships as well is like, you have to honor somebody's sovereignty. You have to honor what somebody else wants and what they don't want. And this Athena energy right now doesn't want anything to do with Aries. She's not wrong about that. And again, I'm kind of going back to what you said here, like our alchemist. It's because she does not contend that no one is in a position to contend with her. She's really just like, leave me alone. And Aries is like, she doesn't want to contend that nobody's in a position to contend with her. It's like, why are you trying to contend with me when you need to hear the word no, is what you need to hear. You need to hear the word no. You need to respect me. There needs to be mutual respect here, and there's not. So yeah, this Aries energy just doesn't understand the basics or like the fundamentals of relationship, of diplomacy, of any of the things that Venus kind of brings to the table, but also that Venus rules over. And Venus is very high-minded compared to Mars, and Venus is very well-rounded compared to Mars and has something to protect, where Mars really doesn't have anything to protect. It only serves itself, and it only serves its ego. Knight of Angel, Watchers. Yes, it's trying to sit back and watch and cause argument, or it wants to cause argument here. Very low energy, very low intentionality even. And a very low threshold for what this Aries energy, very low threshold for what it considers to be success. And it also wants to be chosen weirdly. Like me? Like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Me? It wants to act surprised when it has like success or victory. This is weird. Look, Knight of Angels again, Watcher. And they want to watch a tower moment. They want to watch something that Venus has built crumble and fall. This is a really twisted and sick, sadistic energy. So why hasn't it worked? This kind of energy has terrible examples of authority figures. Yes. It's because, okay, so Seven of Angels is the Seven of Swords. This is a sneaking around energy. Somebody wants to progress in their sneaking around, and they're dealing with this energy that is removed. It's elevated, it is high, and it's also different. It's different, and I think it actually has quite a bit of support, but this feels like angelic support. And it's like a healer energy, King of Hearts. This is like spiritual inheritance energy. They're contending with God, I want to say. They're kind of contending with God energy through this argument. And like, they're not just arguing with another person, but this Aries energy can't understand that. Anything else? Why did this not work out? Because there was no teamwork here. There was no dedication to union. There's no dedication to cooperation, to like those Venus things. There's no dedication to harmony. That's mutual. I'm hearing this song like King of My Heart from Taylor Swift. Yeah. Healer vibe, healer tribe, I just heard. How can we ever call this love? Yeah. How can we ever call this love? And I think that's essentially it. You got two people here. One knows love and one of them doesn't. One operates from a place of love. The other one doesn't. They have very different definitions of love. But really this Aries energy, its definition of love isn't love at all. And they are supposed to turn inwards to kind of realize that. And I think that's the tower moment that they actually need. But it's weird because they want to project this out into this other person. They want this other person, this Athena energy, to be wrong, and she's not. She's in her arena. This Athena energy is in her arena, which is the air energy. This Mars energy, it's the lower energies. And it's trying to, through its lower energies, enter the air arena, the higher arenas. And it can't. It's trying to understand the air energies like from its lower nature. And it can't. It has to transform. It has to transform, and it has to turn a corner in its soul. And instead, it's very petulant that I think this Athena energy is getting away and possibly has the nerve to be independent, because that's the thing. It's force over here with this Aries energy. It wants to force Athena to fit a mold that she doesn't fit in so that they can be right and so that they can dominate like they're used to. They would just want the same pattern to kind of play out, but this is different. And they want a rebirth, I think, with this Athena energy. And they think that this Athena energy owes them a relationship, a conversation, and they don't. They don't. And this Athena energy, far from Libra, which is, again, when I'm hearing Athena say, not everything is a war energy. Not everything is a relationship energy either. And this is not to be viewed. This is a nuisance. I feel like this Aries energy is a nuisance to Athena. Is very immature. It's just a nuisance. And so she's just being very independent, and it's bothering this person. There is something that here is like the same, because Aries and Virgo do overlap on the light grid here, but one is through manipulation and the other is through self. The Athena energy is like through self. So somebody here is like very petulant. So this Aries energy is actually very petulant because they feel the loss of Athena, and they're meant to. They're feeling the loss of Athena, but they also feel like they've lost a war, and maybe this is somebody who feels like they've never lost a war in their life, but they haven't met their match. They finally met somebody that's above them. And it's a calling to heal. Oh, with the healer energy. It's a calling to heal. It's a calling to be in balance. And with this Athena energy, they find somebody that it will benefit them to practice throwing the ball back and forth kindly, but they're not the leader in the situation. Yeah. It's like, no, like, yeah. It's like this knowing energy that comes from this Athena person, maybe very like quite intuitive, but also very emotionally balanced. This other person doesn't understand that, but also there's some kind of connection between the word no, like knowing, that's coming from Athena, and then Aries, that's no. So there's also ways that these two people, because they're so different, they use the same words and they have very different meanings and very different understandings. Where this Athena energy understands it much deeper and like maybe even means it in a different way, but it's not wrong. It's more nuanced. And this Aries energy is kind of a blunt object, like kind of next to this Athena energy. Yeah. And there's something here, can see this, but this feels like God energy or some kind of like higher like authority is watching this. Yeah. And somebody's trying to climb. They think it's about position. This Aries energy, it's so annoying. It really is. And they're using war terms and they're like, I got to get to the higher ground. And Athena just has the higher ground here. They don't know how to get to the higher ground because this is funny. For this Aries energy to get to the higher ground, it's tower energy. They have to have an inner tower moment. It's Sagittarius energy where they have to overcome their animalistic nature and they have to turn a corner in their soul. The only way for them to get higher ground in the way that Athena has achieved higher ground is to have some kind of internal tower moment. And I feel like it's a paradox where something that they've built up, which is, I think, their own ego, their version of themselves, and maybe a partnership that they're in or something that they've built, that will crumble. And it's a paradox. They will get to know God via that. And then they're going to rebuild something that can actually go the distance. Because it's like whatever they've built is not in alignment with higher forces. And so they can't go any higher than they actually are. But they try to parasite or cling on to other people and they feel justified in doing that. So it's lower nature that they try. This is the energy of mental gymnastics, but they think they're clever. And I do think there is a cleverness here, but it's a cleverness that will only shoot them in the foot. And yeah, they're just really trying so hard to climb. Yes, but they are really in this, something here needs to end. But this is projection. They are sensing that something here needs to end. And they tell themselves that if they defeat Athena, that's the thing that needs to end. But it isn't. Plus, Athena is deeply favored by Zeus. And Zeus is that lightning thrower. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with the tower here. That's a sun energy that I was seeing. I was like, who is this sun? And it feels like it is actually Zeus. It's like, Athena kind of even knows that. You don't have to worry about me. Athena is so intelligent. She's like, you don't even have to worry about me. I'd like to see you come at me because you just picked 4 fights that you don't even realize that you picked, and they're all with people stronger than you. Energies stronger than you. I don't have to do anything. They're going to come after you. I don't have to come after you. It really feels like Zeus, without being asked. Zeus is going to see this Aries energy because Zeus doesn't really like Aries, if I remember from the myth. Like, they kind of have a contentious relationship. But Zeus is going to see it, and Zeus is going to be the one to throw a lightning bolt. And just one lightning bolt, and that's really it. Or Zeus can oust this Aries energy from something. It feels like this Zeus energy can. And Aries is, Aries. Literally Aries. Hilarious. Moon. This Aries energy is very greedy and very impulsive and very somatic. This could be a somatic narcissist for some of you. They're supposed to go inwards, and they do not want to do that. Because the time of this person being Aries is done. They actually need to develop themselves, and they need to go internal. And it's like this Athena energy is the wall that they have run into. So it's just the nature of these energies playing out and just being what it is that they are. That's why this didn't work out, because it's meant to, and it's meant to push this Aries energy internal. Something here is meant to end, and it's their ego first and foremost, who they think they are, which is righteous and strong and always the victor. This is going to crumble, and they have to start from the bottom. But I'm also seeing them like digging through the ground here. Hi, Luna. And then they're going to rebuild something else. And that's the only way forward. And it's a paradox. And this Aries energy doesn't want to admit it because they don't like to admit that they've wasted their own time, but they have. And that's the difference. This Athena energy is very wise and doesn't waste her time. She stops and she kind of surveys the land and everything, where Aries just jumped right in to try to be one with Athena, to try to be the same as Athena. And only has to start all over. Has to start all over because they built it the wrong way and in the wrong energy and for the wrong reasons. And that's why Athena's went higher, is because she's in alignment. She serves something higher than herself. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And I actually think Spirit led this Aries energy to the rock that, oh my gosh, and I just heard from Talladega Nights, and this is the last of it, and I'm going to wrap this up. Talladega Nights, where soon you will know what it is to be beaten by someone who is truly better than you. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. No, this Athena energy is better than this Aries energy, period, point blank. And that has nothing to do with their intrinsic worth or value. It's just this Aries energy refuses to build its own intrinsic worth and value. And so therefore does not fulfill. Oh, fulfillment. Remember somebody was talking about this misunderstanding of the fulfillment? They think that if they destroy Athena, that's their purpose or that's their fulfillment. And it is no such thing. It's not true on either front. And so there's a misunderstanding of that energy. Because that's what this Aries energy does. It's a war energy. It tries to end things. The time of that is over. And I do think that was its purpose there for a while. They were probably under the purview of Shiva. Shiva would move this person around, but they're done with it. This soul now needs to mature and develop beyond that point. And is refusing to do so. Yeah, it thinks its purpose is to destroy this Athena energy, but actually Spirit maneuvered this person and to run into someone who's truly better than you. So you can actually see it, and then that's going to deal with shame. It's like this person doesn't want to lose. They don't want to admit that they've lost. They don't want to admit that they're smaller. They don't want to admit that they don't have the stuff and that they need to be more well-rounded. They don't want to admit that. But that's exactly what they're going to have to do. And that is like them confronting their own shame and their own secrets and their own, this is animalistic, impulsive, low vibrational nature. So anyways, I'm going to leave that there. That's why it didn't work out. Because it is working out the way that God wants it to work out. And there's like a Zeus energy that's watching this whole thing. There's some kind of higher energy these two are not even fighting each other. Athena understands that she's playing her role and she's happy to do so. And she's given over her ego actually to something higher. And this Aries energy has not done that. And that's why they are losing and will lose. And they are never to defeat this Athena energy. They're actually, I think, meant to be in a relationship energy. But this Aries energy feels like it has to destroy her in order to do that instead of building itself up. And in building itself up, and I've said this many times in this reading, but I can't say it enough, honestly. To build themselves up, they've got to tear themselves down. Their ego. They have to experience an internal tower moment. It's going to feel like a death energy. The death energy is turning on them, actually. They have to experience it. And they have to start over, and they've got to rebuild in the right energy to actually even be on Athena's level. And then they will be practicing diplomacy. It won't be a battle. And they're going to understand that love is not a battlefield. Love and war are not the same things. This is not the energy to approach Athena in. It's just not. These two will be friends at the very least. And if they're not friends, it's because this person's fucking up. And I don't think it's even Athena that they've got to deal with. I think it's somebody else. Somebody worse. Miriam, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. So Aries can go be with Hephaestus. That's funny. Okay. So I'll put this up here. We just did pile number 2 if you're joining us. So we've done pile number 1 and pile number 2 because we do like to take things in order here. But I just like to reserve the right that if I wanted to, I could do pile number 3 first, and then I could do pile number 2, and then I could do pile number 1, or I could do pile number 3, and then pile number 1, and then pile number... I could do that. I just want everyone to know that. But we did go pile number 1, pile number 2, and now we're moving on to pile number 3. Sorry, I'm just being stupid. Nice. Okay, my Virgo soul is burning. Don't take that seriously. I like Virgo energy a lot, actually. It's just that in this deck, that lady that's on the Virgo card, I just do not like the drawing at all. And it always gives me the creeps and some kind of but Virgo energy is not bad. It's far from bad. It's like every sign, it's got its positives and its negatives, but don't hate the Virgo part of you. The Virgo part of you is is beautiful. You know, it's very skillful. It's like a lot of times very much earth angel energy. But Virgo is exactly halfway through the zodiac, and it is an earth sign, and it is oftentimes the sign that is noted for being like the most entrapped in the material because it's halfway through. So when we talk about going halfway through the forest, before you start walking back out the forest, that's Virgo right there. Virgo into that Libran energy. And that hinge point is a nakshatra known as Chitra, which is a Mars ruled nakshatra. This might be relevant. Take what you take from this. And that is the architect of a zodiac, but it's where there's some kind of big chunk of karma and karmic souls that falls off. And it's notoriously like the most painful place in the zodiac. It's very, very painful to kind of like just keep chipping away. And it's kind of removing what is beneath the marble rock, like seeing the statue that's like within the marble and like kind of bringing it out. It's that kind of energy. And they can have very sharp eyes and like see things very clearly. And they're usually very intelligent. But yeah. Yeah. But don't hate Virgo energy at all. Virgo is a really, really good energy. Well, I mean, it's every sign has its positives and its negatives, its pitfalls that it has to kind of overcome, and right? Because no one sign of the zodiac is the total answer. Right? It's all like whole. So it's just about understanding those energies. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to spray this. Can you still hear the birds? Yeah, Virgos are very detail oriented. That's true. Weird flex, Jess. Oh, yeah. Me saying I could do pile number 3 first. Weird flex, Jess. It was, but you know, welcome to the freak show. The birds are still birding. Most of my chart is Virgo. Nice. Nice. Leo, Virgo, sun sign myself. First degree Virgo. All right, so I compassion, but I'm just going to do it. Again, compassion. I just need a little more refresh this time. All right. So we're on to pile number 3. If you're just joining us, the box. Yeah, let's just, before we get into pile number 3, let's just send some loving energy to the Virgos. I didn't mean to pick on the Virgos. And Virgo, it's nothing. It really is just in this particular deck and that particular lady, it just gets me the wrong way. All right. Pile number 3. I'm just going to take one more drink. All right. Why did it not work out? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I just grabbed this from the top of the deck, the heart chakra love. This is the Goodfellows Garden, which a member of our Chaos Coven sent to me. But love, and then like with this box energy, okay, somebody here I feel like could not access the love energy for some reason because they were protecting their heart, like with this box energy, like, but this person has a beautiful heart energy, and you might sense that. This could be you. You could sense that, and you're like, why? And maybe you were in love with this person before. C. Conway, thank you so much for the super chat. Maybe you guys were in love before, but then something happened and then somebody like covered up their heart energy, because whoever this is has beautiful, juicy heart chakra, heart-centered energy. You might already know that about them, and that might be confusing you as well, where you're like, I know that you love me, or I know that you're a loving person. Like, why has this like not exactly worked out? And you could be feeling some kind of like shame or some kind of confusion because, again, you know this about this person. I feel like, again, this is a very loving person. It's giving Empress energy with the green, very lush and very growing energy, very fresh, very like vibrant. But it's like, why are you not sharing that with me? You could have noticed a switch in this person's behavior. And you could have tried to do like the same old song and dance, or you could have been trying to get this person's attention or something, and it's just not working. It's because this person is actively like covering up their own heart. This also could be the type of person that they do have a beautiful like heart-centered energy, but this could be like a workaholic or somebody that is very I want to say like mathematical or something, you know, like they're very mathematical, or they're very maybe focused on the details, or like focused on their work or something like that. And they are just very focused on that. There could be a combination of these energies where also like, so if this person does have a juicy heart energy, you know that because they shared it with you, or and then all of a sudden they switched up and they just like covered their heart, they protected their heart. But this part, it could have been a combination of that, and this person had something else going on, like school or work, or they're trying to get a certification in something, because it feels very left-brained. It feels like it's a 1-2 punch almost, I think, for this person, where something happened, it freaked them out. There could have been a transgression here. They hid their heart. They were like, shit. But then also there's something here that got them in their left brain energy. It was something that like, maybe they got a promotion, or they started something new and then they had to like build it from the ground up. Like they had to say, okay, this works this way, that works that way. I don't know. It feels very left-brained, whatever this person was doing. And it feels like maybe it's a 1-2 punch in regards of that. And I do think this person has fears in this situation that they're kind of trying to like avoid or like move away from. It's not like they're trying to avoid, like not deal with it, but it's almost like this person, they kind of feel like there's something maybe that you need to own up to, or somebody else needs to own up to, that they, that's this underworld energy. And they're like, ugh, like that's not coming from me. That's on your plate. It's not on my plate. I don't want it on my plate. I'm covering my plate and my heart chakra. And from a loss, maybe, and this person could have experienced a loss. This feels like it has to do with you potentially, or like a certain situation. And for some of you, it could have been real, and for others of you, maybe this person just felt like they had a loss in this situation. But don't lie to yourself. If you know that you did something, that you messed up in this situation, then this person was aware of that. But yeah, there's some kind of loss, and it feels like, again, this 1-2 punch energy with this, where it feels like there's something here that directly has to do with you, and then there's something here that doesn't actually. Like it's something in their broader life. They could have lost money, or they could have lost somebody, like literally through like a death energy. They could have lost a parent, or they could have lost a job, or they could have lost some kind of money in something. I feel like they had another loss, and it feels like big, like it disrupted them, but it feels like this person just got to work is what it feels like. It feels like this sucked between the two of you, but there's also something else here in the background that you may or may not know about. And it was like, this sucked. And then this person just got to work. It's like, ugh. And so they got to work protecting themselves, but also this is a person who I think hasn't experienced much security in their life, like especially around love. And it's the one thing that they want, like very, very strongly. And because I'm just getting that with the box, like I'm almost viewing this as like a floor plan. So maybe this person's like, well, I got to get my own place, or they needed something for their place. They needed to fix it up, or they were like, never again will this ever happen to me, or I don't want to, have to rely on someone else. This feels like I just want to have my own so that I don't have to rely on someone else. So that's why it didn't work out, is because this person, something happened here. I actually feel like this person's very sensitive in the heart space, and you would feel that. So if this person like flipped on you, you could be thinking like, is this person not loving? This is a very extremely loving person. And one thing that I think you'll find, and maybe that you're learning, is that when someone's very loving, they're very sensitive in their heart chakra area. And so this is very much the kind of, I know because I'm sensitive, I don't go to the grocery store hungry kind of an energy. Other people can go to the grocery store hungry. I cannot go to the grocery store hungry. I will spend $500 in a single trip, and then I'll have to go back next week. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's this person's kind of energy of like, other people can take risks with their heart. I can't take risks with my heart. I know that about myself. And so it almost feels like maybe something that happened here I feel like it's either y'all were living together and this was like somebody cheated, and it's like you had combined finances and things like that. And this person, it really woke this person up, and they were like, holy shit, like never again. Or it feels like maybe y'all were just at the beginning of something, and this person had already been through that maybe with somebody, and they were like, nope, I know exactly what this is. Stay the fuck away from me. Like it kind of feels like that, but it feels like maybe a hypersensitivity. It feels like, but it doesn't feel like it's unwarranted in this situation. It feels like it's definitely real, but it feels like you were watching this person and they weren't giving much away. Maybe there's some tie-in between this pile and pile number 2 for some people, because there's a sense of you watching this person and your strategy like not working. But I don't know, because I feel like this is a group that you were waiting for an opening. If you had a heart, I was hoping that you would show it some. You were waiting for this person to open up their heart again. But the thing is, this person, whatever happened, this person's so scared to open up their heart, really. And this, I feel like maybe it has to do with you. but it feels to me like the bulk of it doesn't have to do with you. It feels like the bulk of it has to do with other things, maybe multiple situations, but that there was something that went on between the two of you, but against the backdrop of whatever else had happened in this person's life, they're not cracking that door open. When it's closed, it's closed, kind of a thing. And they put their mind on building. Actually, this feels like building because this is like the square here, but then it's also like building upwards. So this person, it feels like they very much know that they had to get a floor plan. I don't know why I keep getting that. So it's like maybe an apartment or they just need their own space in the world in some way. They know that they need that. And if they have that they can build upwards from there. So this person had a real focus. And I don't know where in this person's storyline you are meeting up with them, but it's like, that's what they know. They know that they need their little slice of the world. And then they want to just start building up from there because this person knows that they can. And in a way, building up, it's like protective, but this person has beautiful energy, like really, really beautiful energy. It's like heart-centered energy mixed with crown chakra energy is kind of what I'm getting. And green and purple might be relevant to you or to this person. Something here about like green, purple, something here about that. Maybe it's like, I don't know, because it also feels very lush. So maybe that's like their favorite flower or their, I don't know. Or maybe one of you is green and one of you is purple or something like that. Yeah, something changed. It feels like there was like extreme quick change in this relationship and it was reactionary. And it was like, shit, my heart is not okay here. My heart is not safe here. I'm so glad that I caught this. And then like they shut this down. And then like you got defensive as well. Cause you were like looking back, you were trying to observe and you were trying to say like, well, when is this person's heart going to open up again? And the answer to that question is never. Like it's not to you specifically. Ugh, I'm sorry if that's harsh. That's just kind of what I'm feeling. This person is like, I'm off to expand somewhere else. Yeah, this person's funny because their moon, their comfort feels better around like Jupiter energy. So again, this person could have been in school. They could have been learning. There's an expansion energy around this person. They want to expand like, again, their apartment or their like little place in the world, but they learn. And yeah, Luna girl. I feel like there's something about the situation that's maybe like catnip or something to like both of you or to you or to them or to somebody here. Okay, so why didn't this work out, Spirit? Okay. Interesting. Gemini, Taurus. So the Gemini, Taurus cusp is the cusp of energy. It feels like there's a lot of energy in this situation, actually. And look, there's somebody here that's like watching and they're up in their head about a conversation maybe or about how to approach a conversation. But it feels like there's no action being taken here. And maybe it feels like there is... like y'all are not on the same page. I keep saying y'all in this, and I say y'all a lot because it's such a convenient word, but that might be relevant too. But it's like you're not on the same page or like somebody's up in their head about a conversation that already occurred and the conversation did not go the way that you thought that it was going to go. And it's because this person had observed something in you already. They kept it secret, what they saw, because they felt scared. They felt vulnerable, like with their heart. And whatever happened, this person was like, oh, hell no, I'm not putting my heart out here first. You made it unsafe, you'll make it safe. And you're going to take a risk with your heart. You put your heart out here. Let's see that. Because, and also this person knows that they're a safe person. And they kind of know that you know that as well about them. Because I think that, to be honest, okay, flip these energies if you need to. But like, I feel like you did something. Like you took a risk with this person's heart and now you're all up in your head about like the friendship, maybe about friendship with this person, about a conversation with this person. Maybe there's another friend here. Maybe you're up in your head about another friend. So like maybe you feel like this person likes their friend or something, but I'm not really getting that. Oh my God, I like literally felt like crying energy. Yeah, there's a lot of energy here, but I also feel like this person left. Like somebody here left some kind of comfort zone or some kind of safety. You perceived it as a comfort zone or maybe some kind of safety for this person. And it might have to do with you and it might not have to do with you. But you're like, no, why did you fly the nest? Like whether that was y'all's nest together, there I went saying y'all again. Whether it was like y'all's nest together or whether this person had a nest, it could be their home, like their family home or something. And you're like, why did you leave the nest? Because I think it's not really like this person to have done that. But this person took a risk. They took a risk. oh my gosh, I just heard this Jody Messina song, which Messina, like mess, isn't that word? Jody Messina. JM could be mess and Ina, Christina or something like, it could be those. I don't know. Just take it however it resonates. But there's a song, it's called Heads Carolina, Tails California. Somewhere greener, somewhere warmer. Up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, long as we're going somewhere together. I got a quarter. Heads Carolina, tails California. And I feel like maybe that could have been you guys, like, or you feel that. You feel that it like should have been you guys, but it kind of feels like it's them and them. Like it feels like it's their own best friend. Or maybe this person met a friend and they were like, want to move, like heads Carolina, tails California. This person took some kind of big risk. I just want something better, something greener, something, I want greener, right? Like greener pastures. They wanted something that was going to grow, something that, because this person, I think they are looking for something on the outside that matches them on the inside. The green of the heart chakra. That's what they're looking for. Is Luna's over there bothering Alex again with her love. And maybe you felt like you were bothering somebody with your love, or maybe they felt like they were bothering you with their love. I don't know. But this person took a risk. Okay, so that's also why this didn't exactly work out, is because something happened here and it feels like already had been building in their life where I don't think this person was treated appropriately. I think this person's very loving. I think they're very sweet. I think they've been very vulnerable. I think that they got messed around with that a lot. And I think they got sick of it. I think they got traumatized by it first and foremost. And then something here happened in this situation where this person put their heart away and they were like, no. And you were like watching this person and it feels strategic and it feels observant, but it doesn't feel bad to me. And it doesn't feel like you made any kind of move, or it's like you were up in your head about a conversation, or you knew that you needed to have a conversation, but you were waiting for an opening. You didn't know how to start the conversation because of what had gone on, and you weren't exactly sure what went wrong, but you do know that this person's behavior suddenly switched and changed. There's a lot of energy in this connection. I think between both of you, maybe you're both very energetic people. I'm kind of getting that. Or yeah, but there's also this person left and they're nervous. I feel like you know that about this person too. This is like an anxious, nervous person, but I'm seeing like, their little ears are perked up. It's like a deer that's like running through the forest, and it's like very majestic, but because it's this Mrgashira energy is what I'm getting, where Mrgashira is a very auspicious sign. And I feel like this person is lucky, actually. They have this, they're not the biggest beast in the forest, but this is a very lucky energy and a very majestic energy and a very attuned energy. They're really attuned to their own frequency, I'm getting, but also like to their environment. Yeah. And once they left a certain situation, because you got some obstacles here, okay? Because whatever happened, they put their heart away, and then they left. That's two major like hurdles here. And then maybe there's something here that like started to split between you and this person. And that could be like on an energetic level. It could be timelines. Like it opened up some kind of other timeline. Yeah. Maybe they started talking to somebody else. I don't know. And you experienced the loss, and then maybe you felt petulant, and then maybe you wanted to kind of come back at this person. But it's because of some kind of like fiery energy. And for some of you, this is where this energy is turned. It's warped in you. And that's where this jumps over to the pile number 2 thing, where you've become a person that you don't recognize. Because this has brought up something in you. And you had a sexual discretion here in the past, if this is you. And I'm supposed to just tell you this flat to your face. Tell me why you can't deal with this directly, and why you've allowed this to poison and pervert your energy to becoming the person and the thing that I described in pile number 2. Towards this person, you're mad at yourself, and this needs to be dealt with. And this person's still around you, aren't they? Or you're still defending this person, or you're using this person to throw in this other person's face. So your energy got perverted, and it got like warped, and it fell, and you kind of became a villain in this energy. But you took it as like love, and this is like competition. There's some kind of like something in the past. So that's where this could overlap with pile number 2, because I'm hearing myself say things that, this energy mistakes this for love. And it's because I feel like there was originally just like love between the two of you. This beautiful like heart chakra energy. There's a lot of energy here. And instead of cleaning up your mess and having a conversation in the way that you needed to, and recognizing that you had hurt this person and that this person got scared of you. And now how do you think they feel? If you're in this fucked up energy, do you think they feel calm around you? Do you think that they want to take this off, or do you think that they're just adding layers of armor? Like this has spiraled out of control. If there's a connection here, because for not for everybody is there. I also feel though that in moving away, then this friend that you're up in your head about made some type of weird move on this person. I don't think this person returns that person's energy, but I feel like they got ambushed. Yeah. I don't think it was above board, whatever happened here. Like if you know this person. But if this person has moved, like physically moved and you don't know, like that's another soulmate that's coming in. And that's where I'm feeling like this timeline split kind of energy where there's actually somebody else that they're in kind of conversation with. And I think they're going to start as friends and then it's going to progress because they're going to, they need that. This is a person who's just scared to love. And it's really unfortunate and it's really sad because this person has a lot of love to give. Yeah, but in the past, they closed off their heart. And so this person needs someone who is a friend first and who is in regular conversation with them and doesn't expect anything of them or anything like that. They just need it to go slow. And they need it to be friends and they just need it to go slow. And that's what Spirit's trying to do for this person. If you're not going to be the one that's going to have this conversation in an honest way, in a direct way, by telling them that you know that they know what you were doing. You know that they know what you were up to and you're willing to clean it up and that you're going to make it safe for their heart again. And if you're not going to do that, then a different door is opening up because this person didn't do anything wrong and is very sensitive and very loving and needs to heal. This person needs to heal. And Spirit's trying to help this person elevate. And this is the kind of person that doesn't ask for much, really. This is the kind of person, I really think all this person wants is their own space in the world. It doesn't even have to be huge and it doesn't have to be grand or luxurious. It just needs to be stable and clean and safe and it needs to be theirs. And then this person will just naturally elevate and Spirit knows that. And so Spirit is working on getting this person what they need in order to like, yes, and it feels like it's different. It's on some kind of different path. Aquarius, I'm connecting this with the star. Different healing path. And it feels like maybe this person has to connect with some kind of like non-traditionality in order to do that. And it feels like maybe you were their more traditional path in some way and you know that. But then this person flew the nest. I just got hot. Like a hot flash. But like, yeah, this person like flew the nest or something. They took a risk. I keep getting that. And that's unusual for this person. They took a risk. And that made you feel some type of way, but you got to process this. You got to go into like your fears and your secrets. I feel like there's secrets here. Your secrets are what's hurting this person and what's causing the problem to begin with. And that's a problem within you. You want to fix this situation? Stop having secrets. That's what it is. Because this person's heart is so beautiful and it's very, very sensitive. But I'm kind of getting this person as like a huge heart chakra. And there could be, no offense, there could be somebody that you're with that thinks they have a bit, okay. There's this, you guys know that I lived in a spiritual community for a while. There's this one guy that came there. There's a lot of people in and out, right? There's this one man, he saw auras. Like he was there like on staff and part of a thing that he did, he saw like chakras and stuff. And one of our friends, she's actually really funny person, pleasant person, but she was like, oh yeah, like, you know, he said that some people have like certain chakras that are like bigger and more dominant. He can like kind of see that. And he did energy healing as part of what he was doing. But she goes, yeah, my heart chakra is like so big. And he was like, actually, it's very small. He was like, actually, your heart chakra is very small. Like just, this was all happening like at the lunch table, like, you know, and it was like, this is awkward. This is an awkward conversation. I just wanted to like leave the table. But, so I think you could have gotten involved with someone who thinks that their heart chakra is so big, but like actually it's like very small. But this person that put their heart away, you could think that their heart chakra is small. There's like a comparison. Maybe this is between you and them. And you could be like, oh, well, I guess your heart chakra is not as big as I thought it was. No, it's huge. Like this person's kind of like all heart, but it's a very sensitive way to go through life. And you got to be around the right people who know how to act, people who are not trying to hurt you, people who are signaling I'm safe. And this person just put it, they hid it. They hid it away from you. And so you don't get much heart energy from this person anymore. And it's because of what you did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is painful, but it's because of what you did. And because of you not having a conversation. And you're up in your head about a conversation, but you weren't honest in that conversation. And you didn't let this other person be honest. And so the truth didn't come out. And so now you're just up in your head and you're spinning your wheels. There's something here like you're spinning your wheels. And it's like, I don't think that you are prepared. I don't think you're capable of fixing this. And to fix this is to have a conversation with this person. And you are not capable of that right now. And step one is for you to do your shadow work here with this. Like, you need to understand your own secrets. You need to understand like what's moving beneath your own emotional content that is so big. I feel for a lot of you, these energies are switched, but spirit sometimes has to feed me this energy. So I like this way so that I'm like digging over here on this person's side of it. But yeah, so it's like what kind of lurks beneath and what's causing like all the problems. And I think that you're actually sad. I think that you're strategic in this situation, but you're actually sad and you're like really emotional and psychic actually. But you're blocking that because you don't want to know. It's like there's a part of you that doesn't want to know what could have been with this person. You don't want to know how beautiful this person really is and what you could have had with this person. It's like you don't want to know that because it's ended and like they're free or they're expanding or you're maybe alone or but it needs to be processed. And that, believe it or not, is step one to actually fixing the situation so that you are the person who is capable. That's soul. So philosophies came through very strong. Changing your philosophy on life and love and yourself and the situation. That's so that you're the person who's capable of having this conversation. And I think even capable of having a friendship with this person first, because I think that's what this person actually needs is to move very slowly. Because they don't know that they can trust. Yeah, there's conversation is a thing here. And it's not, I feel like this is a pile that does not have problem with words. I think that's part of the distrustful nature that this person has towards you is because you're good with your words. And so are they. And this person's like, are we going to bullshit all day? Is that what we're going to do? What a waste of fucking time. But there's a need to communicate like inner emotions and turbulent emotions and sucky things like with Scorpio. And, that's Mercury. There's no door that Mercury cannot unlock. But if you misuse that, you're going to get to this person and you really are going to ruin this. They're going to see the manipulation. This person is smart. Nobody's fool is what I'm hearing. They're going to see the manipulation and they're not going to respect you. And it's going to entrench them further in this. It's because you need to use this Mercury energy on yourself. That there's no door that Mercury cannot pick on yourself. And that's your karma. And if spirits put an obstacle up, I think spirit actually did for you and for them. This is a Saturnian energy that I think is making you, it's making you like itchy. It's making you feel like crazy because it's like this blockage, this obstacle. And it's like very brown, right? Like, that this person has like this beautiful energy and it's like, why is everything, all the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, But this blockage is for both of you because you're just going to hurt yourself and hurt them. If you try to manipulate this person through some kind of slick language, you're going to hurt yourself because it's not going to go the way that you think because this person's immediately going to they know what you did. This person knows something, and because they know, they're not going to let their guard down. There's no way of getting around that except for you speaking very candidly, emotionally, and directly for as long as it takes. And not expecting anything of this person and stop trying to direct the situation. Stop doing that. This is heart energy. This person might not understand your strategy, but they know that you're doing it. And what they do understand is heart energy. Because I think for you, you're like, I'm very strong in manipulation and this person isn't. And so I have the upper hand and this person's actually their strength is heart chakra energy. And so they know that you're not meeting them from a place of heart chakra. They know this energy inside and out, and they know it when they see it, and baby, this ain't it. That's all they need to know about you. And so you got to clear that up. You have to clear up your own corruption in this space. You really want this person, but why? Oh, Leo. Because this person stands out? Because this person's a Leo? Because you want to be a Leo? Like, you want to stand out? So what is going on here? Like, this is selfishness. Weirdly, I feel like this is a soulmate, and I feel like the two of you could have actual love between the two of you. You could have also left this person to go be in this Leo energy somewhere else because you thought that. So some of you are an opportunist, and I think that you've got to be honest with yourself about that. You'll just go anywhere that you think the opportunity is. Or again, flip these energies because for some of you, this is who you're dealing with. And this person senses that. They feel it. They don't want somebody who's fake. They don't want somebody who's an opportunist. If you can go be happy with that person over there, I prefer that you do that. That's what this person is saying. If this is so interchangeable to you, because that's not the way that this person loves. This person doesn't love in this way of like, I can just mix and match them. If you're special to this person, you're special to this person. When this person gets to know somebody, they don't just get to know another woman or another man. They get to know you as an individual. You are irreplaceable because they will find what's unique about you. They'll do it about everybody, you know? And I feel like they can also sometimes, that has been their downfall in the past because they see the best in people. And they have, maybe even in this instance, maybe that's why something worked in the past and then it didn't. It's because they were idealizing your aggression here. These Mars, like the sexual energy, they made it better. They made it seem better than it was, but that's them doing extra work on their side, mental gymnastics to do that. Your aggression, your strategy, your selfishness, this person made it seem better than it actually was in the past. And there was a transgression here that I'm seeing very clearly. And this person thinks you love that person and you don't. And I think some of you maybe only love yourself. That opportunist energy like usually only loves themselves. But that's not for everybody here. But you don't love this person. This person actually wanted to take a swipe at this other person here. They wanted to compete with them. Yeah, that's all it was. So it's cheap between the two of you over here. But this person doesn't want this. They don't want that energy because, like I said, this is a very heart-centered person. And I feel like Spirit, again, there's so much love in this situation for you to just wake up. Once you start looking at this energy, everything that's gone on in the situation through the lens of love, including the blockages and the obstacles, you're going to realize that all of this is love. You're working through your karmas here, your blockages, your obstacles to become acquainted with the energy of love. And this person's there. But you've got to be worthy of it. And with this Saturnian energy, because Saturn is cold. And you're like, I don't like it when you're cold to me. And this person's like, I don't like being cold either. I'm actually a mush. I'm a mushy gush. And that's where I'm comfortable. You know that too. And you feel like this person's taken something away from you because you feel entitled. You feel entitled to this person's heart chakra energy. And that's part of the problem here. There's no respect. This person exists separate than you. This person exists separate than you. They get to make their own decisions about where they bring their heart energy, who they share that with. And they have every right to decide that they're not safe here. So I think Spirit put a blockage in the conversation energy. Put a blockage up here for your own good and for their own good so that you can use this Mercury energy on yourself. There's no key that you can't unlock because you need to do shadow work over here. And welcome to the club. I hope this doesn't seem that I'm being like too harsh on you because I just feel like, again, it's this denial energy in pile 3. But welcome to the club. Okay, that's essentially like what all of us just do all the time. And maybe we are masochists. I don't know. But like that's what we all do is like shadow work just all the time. Just welcome, you're in good company. But you have that shadow work to do where you need to figure out what makes you tick, what's moving. Like with the Scorpio energy, sometimes like I see the ocean from above and I can just see these huge freaking animals like fishes and the whales and the like moving beneath like you on this tiny little raft. You know, and you just feel like at the whim of all these things, but it's like start to understand what's moving the waves, you know, what's moving beneath. That's you with this Mercury energy. Figure all that out. That's going to give you this energy of your own accord. Accord might be, strike a chord. I think you've been up in your head about like, how do I strike a chord with this person? How do I strike their heart space? How do I hit the right note? How do I hit the right frequency? You have to become this. And this is moving from that Scorpio energy, which is very sneaky. It's the backbiter. It's the betrayer. It's the secret. You've got to become your own version of Leo, which is, y'all are soulmates with this person and you know it and they know it. And it's heartbreaking. It actually breaks this person's heart that they have to hide from you. And also that they have to hide from a lot of people because this person just never feels safe. I feel like, and it breaks their heart to have to do this and it breaks your heart to be away from this person. But that's what's needed right now because you have to become this Leo person and Leo rules the heart and it rules over the back. So where Scorpio is the backbiter, I just heard, I got your back. Like you have to be the kind of person that's like, no, I got your back. Not only am I not biting your back and trying to get away with it, but if anybody else comes at your back, bitch, they are going to contend. I'm going for their ankles. Okay. Go for their ankles, you know, like, cause that's the energy that this person just has for you. I feel like this person's not a fighter, but Leo is the kind of energy that's like very courageous and very valor. Like this is not a weak person. And I feel like you have maybe had to learn that the hard way because Leo makes people brave. Nobody fights harder than somebody who's got something to lose. And this person always has something to lose because they bring their heart to the game and that makes them stronger. It doesn't make them weaker. this is about to sting, okay? You're the weaker one in the situation because you didn't bring your heart to the table. You were the one that was too scared in the beginning. This person mirrored your energy. As soon as they were like, oh, got it. Like, we don't move like that around here. Got it. Sorry, that took me a moment to catch up. I put my heart away. Like, they mirrored your energy. So the thing is, you were the leader in the past. You actually were. You want to regain that space. But so if you lead by you putting your heart out there, it takes courage, doesn't it? But also, there's something here where it's like, this person's not weak. This person's actually the most ferocious thing in the room. They're really something to be contended with, because they will only fight you if they love something here. They only fight like on the defense. You know, they're happy with like whatever is just theirs, and they'll like fight on the defense, and they fight to win. Like Leo's hot. Like, Leo's got the shit going together. Like, this is a noble energy, but this is also somebody that is like knows when to fight. It's kind of giving Athena from pile 2. But yeah, you've got to become this yourself. You have to, and this is what you want from this person by maybe being attached to this person, but you have to come to this conclusion yourself. You have to develop this yourself through what? Through, where did it go? Through the Scorpio energy. And this, to me, it's very much giving, I'm just digging. Oh my gosh, it was at the very bottom. Isn't that profound? But it's like this. Scorpio is one of the darkest houses in the chart. Leo, very light house. But this is the death energy. But I'm seeing it's the lotus flower that grows from the mud at the bottom of the lake. And that's you. And you're transforming, and you have to push just like the lotus flower. Up, to like actually reach the sun. And the lotus flower is a symbol of spirituality, because once you reach the sun, it's a gift to God. And like, that's what you need to do for yourself. And that's mirroring this person's energy. And then you're going to show up. You want to know how to strike a chord with this person. It's by becoming yourself. And you don't even know who you are yet, but you and this person are soulmates. There is genuine love here and heart resonance. And if you try to approach this person through any other energy, they're just going to shut down, because y'all are the real deal. So approach them as the real deal. Because you know that. I feel like you know that. You're like, that person's for me and I'm for them. But you don't know how to approach. And so you've been like watching this person, and you're like, where's my opening? There will not be an opening until it's safe for there to be an opening for you, where you're not going to step in it. And for this person, when they're not going to have to contend with your bullshit, basically. You got somebody on the side, there won't be an opening. You want to lie, steal, and cheat, there will not be an opening. And that's for both of y'all's sake. There I said y'all again. That's for both y'all's sake. So this is about using the Mercury energy to navigate the Scorpionic space. Unlock all the doors down there. All of them. Get your skeletons out of the closet. Just deal with it head on. Don't have any secrets for yourself. Refuse to operate on a realm of secrets. It's honestly weak shit, to be honest. If you have secrets, it's because you don't need secrets if you got the biggest dick in the room and you're just going to lay it on the table. You don't need secrets. I'm not keeping this hidden, okay? You can look and you can look and you can look. It's fine. Like, don't be embarrassed about anything. If you have to hide something, you are living in a way that you are fundamentally not okay with. You are fundamentally not okay with. So do the work for yourself, live in a way that you don't feel like you have to hide anything. That's like where you are coming into your own and learning how to express yourself in your own way. And that is the energy that this person's drawn to. Because right now they're in two minds about you. Because they felt it. Okay, I'm hearing that song. It's Tate McRae. I felt it. Oh God, I felt it. It's like, I felt it. I really felt it. Spending too much time on things I know that I'll forget. I really felt it. I'm trying to. Nobody said changing would be this exhausting. Foot on the brake because it's making me car sick. I think it's feel like shit, maybe. Tate McRae. Anyways. Foot on the brake because it's been making me car sick. That's this person. Foot on the brake because it's been making me car sick, kind of thing. So this is a paradox, because you just want to rush to have a conversation. You're good at conversation, but the way that you operate in conversation is you hide certain things. You're good at putting yourself forward strategically. That's not what's being asked of you here, because this is a soulmate. That tells me that a lot of people that you're around in your daily life, they're not soulmates. They're karmic energy, because they'll accept you in that energy. This literally can't work between you and this person like that, because you're the real deal. You have to be like your heart energy self. Leo is very different energy, but they just own it. And because of that, they're very magnetic. So this is like just being yourself. Just be yourself. Like Aladdin. I feel like you want a genie to be like, how do I get to this person? How do I get to their heart? And the genie's like, just be yourself. You don't need a wish. You don't need magic. Just be yourself. But you don't know how to do that yet. And that's okay. None of us know how to do it. But you got to do the shadow work, grow into that. That's how you strike a chord with this person's heart, because you don't know how to reach this person's heart. But Spirit is monitoring this. Spirit is the one that put the obstacle. So the obstacle is your friend. It's not something for you to like rail against. It's not something for you. I feel like it's mirroring you back to you. And that's a place to start with your shadow work. But it's not, it might be bringing up like scars and hard feelings, but it's not meant to do that. Well, it is, but it's meant to do that so that you can deal with it, so that you can see it, catch it, heal it, and then pull up quick to retrieve it. Yeah, I feel like you get the point here. So y'all are soulmates, but you are being kept separate. I also just heard secret. Like the fact that you are soulmates is maybe being kept secret from one or both of you. It's going to be revealed at the right time. And like, this is going to, but everybody here has to go on their own journey. This person needs to heal. I feel like it was a possibility for y'all to heal together. There, I said it again. But it needed to be a certain way, and it's not that way. So this person's Spirit's moving this person where they can heal, because this person has to move slow, and they have to have people around that are being friends and can turn into more. Like, it's that slow, steady kind of energy. And Spirit is giving this person the foundation that they need, the security that they need, because this is a person who needs earthy security. They need things they can touch. They need things that are load bearing, and that it's not going to be a surprise. Because I think you think that your strategic nature is harmless, or that you mean well, or that, I don't know, that, okay, yeah, that was bad, but like, I'm not going to do it again. So if I just hide it, no. Spirit's saying no to that. This is a very sensitive person, and they're kind of the creme de la creme, at the very least, like for you. But I think for a lot of these people, it's like overall. And so you got to change. Sorry if that was harsh. I'm sorry if that was harsh, pile number 3. But you are a reflection of this other person. Like this is, and I think you know that, like you are also that way. Like you have this juicy heart energy that you also refuse to like bring out. And that was it all along. There's going to come a day where you're going to realize that was the key all along. Your ushy gushy heart energy, which is maybe the thing that you were most afraid of showing. Or you thought, oh, that's stupid, you know, or like, that's not what they want to see, or they're going to make fun of me. No, that was the key all along for this person, is just to operate from a heart space. But instead, I think that you were kind of holding your heart back because you expected this person to reject you because you know you fucked up in some way. You know you fucked up because you're very smart. This is a group that is very smart. Like you cotton on quickly. But yeah, you know you fucked up. And instead of leading, that made you put your heart away too, when really it's a paradox. You got to risk some skin here. That's kind of what I'm getting. Watering can, provider. I'm telling you, this person needs a provider. They need someone who provides safety, security, calm, peace. At least like there needs to be, I don't know, like a 10 by 10 space at least in this world that this person can count on, like it not changing, you know? Support, provider support. Like, yeah, I think provide support for this person, because I think that's what this person needed in the aftermath of whatever went on. This person really needed like steady support. They needed you to show up in that way, or just somebody. And I don't think stop. They needed you to stop doing something. Crown, royalty, travel. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry if that was harsh, pile number 3. I really am. Okay. We need people who are like aloe vera, not hydrogen peroxide on an open wound. Yeah. Aw. I've always known that. The energy is flipped and kind of mixy, but I'm understanding the message. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that too. And I think that's because of me. And that might be a message for some of you, because I think that's for me. Like for me to understand and for me to try to dig where Spirit wants me to dig, it's giving me the message like this. The energies very much could be flipped with this energy, and often is. And that might be a message in this, where, oh, and I think it has, okay, so there's something about like, the way the energy, okay, take this as a metaphor. Like the way the energy comes through in the tarot is less about this is an exact fit to your situation, but it's about the message. It's about the communication. Something is happening in the way that it needs to happen to facilitate the communication, or to facilitate where it is that you need to dig. It's meant to highlight something where you need to dig, or something that you need to understand more about, and not necessarily because it's like like exactly that energy. Julie said, thank you for digging, Jess. You're welcome. Gosh, I got my shovel out. You guys should have seen me in that pond, okay? And I mean, it was, Alex is laughing at me. And also, I didn't understand. Just take this as a metaphor if it resonates to your situation, but I didn't understand. Okay, because like it's a small pond. We've got like rocks, and the rocks, I guess, are supposed to go like up on the tarp. I'm such an idiot. I can be bad like spatially sometimes, but the rocks are like all in the bottom of this pond. Like a lot of them are. Well, I thought that they were supposed to be down there because I thought that they were supposed to hold the tarp down, but Alex was like, isn't that what the water does? Just hold the tarp down. And I was like, oh yeah, it's what the water does. And I was supposed to like pull the rocks up to the tarp, but I didn't realize that. So I have to go back out there and do that. And that's going to be like a whole other day because these rocks are like kind of big. But anyway, Alex very gently was like, oh, a lot of the rocks are still in the bottom. And I was like, well, yeah. And I was moving the rocks around to like the muck out. And I was like lifting them up and dunking them back in to kind of clear them off. But I didn't like know that I was supposed to move them to the higher portion. Now I do know that. So it was harsh. I can see it though. I love him, but I'm Scorpio and strategic. I want to change. Yeah. And you know what? I read for a lot of Scorpio energies, and I've known that since I've started doing this channel. And honestly, I attract a lot of Scorpio energies to me because myself, I have Venus in Taurus, opposite Pluto in Scorpio 1 degree, and it's right on my 10th, 4th house. And I know that I've meant to contend with a lot of Scorpio energy in my own life. And Scorpio always shows a soul that is split in two, very much split in two. And I've noticed in my life, a lot of times that Scorpio energy to me appears like Venus. It looks like Venus. It looks almost like Libran energy. And I've always thought Scorpios are either the best of the best kind of people or the worst of the worst. And there's like really no in between because there's always that like hidden strategic nature. And maybe I just saw somebody flip a coin. Like maybe there's this like decide who you're going to be, because this is a group that has immense power. And if you just throw yourself, and I actually think, again, with the Scorpio energy, and if you have Scorpio in your chart, pay attention to where it is, because I think you have a talent there to purify that energy in some way. Or if it's talking to another one of your planets, like you have that ability to use that power for good or to use it for evil, you know? And it's true. Like we were talking about with Virgo, you know, like every sign has that in it. And at least for me, the Scorpios are, a lot of my best friends have been Scorpios, but then like they can end up betraying me or something. And a lot of my worst enemies can be Scorpios. Like it's just, to me, it's that best of the best, worst of the worst kind of energy. And I feel like that's like, you get to decide that because you have an immense power. And it does really feel like that Kundalini energy, like that snake that's coiled at the base of the spine. And if you just tell it to go, it'll go. It might scare the shit out of you. And actually, I'm being told that you should look into that, like Kundalini awakening, what the signs and symptoms are, because it might move faster for this group than for other groups. And that can be extremely disorienting. Also, like the disorienting nature, for some of you, there could be a misunderstanding about like you are trying to make those changes, but like it's happening so rapidly and you are so discombobulated in your energy that that's why the blockage is there. So if you feel like you've already started adjusting this, you're probably moving very quickly. It is disorienting. You might be actually very confused, but the blockage has not moved yet. And you might be looking at it like, well, I'm doing this. Like, why is the blockage not moving? It's because you are disoriented. That's why. Is because you're definitely moving and grooving in this process, because I feel like this group can change it quick. You're moving very quickly, but you're still so disoriented. And so they're just going to make sure that not only are you fully through this process, whatever it is, but that you're stable and you know up from down and left from right again. Like you can kind of right yourself in your energy before you go with that other person. The haters don't hit the like button. We don't have haters here. We have like one hater, and that person is a loony bin, but everyone else is nice. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that there. I'm so sorry again if it's harsh. I'm an air sign. I'm a Gemini. And also my Mercury is in Gemini. And sometimes I get so stuck in trying to understand the patterns. And I have that air quality where I'm like, I kind of try to strip it of emotionality and then I just try to deliver it. And to me, I'm like, well, that's helpful. But it might not always be helpful. And I'm not ever trying to sting you. Sometimes I know that spirit is like, kind of like energy work or something with like acupuncture. And it's like, well, I have this scar here. And one time I went to this like healer person and they were like, hey, I have to cause you pain in order to get this like energy flowing back through here, and like I had to like do all that. And so sometimes I feel like it's the same where I'm like, I can tell that I'm supposed to pop this. I'm supposed to like, and unless I do it that way, it won't work. Oh, okay. So Alex is reminding me about the mama heat. How do you feel about return to sender spells? How do I feel about it? I have felt confused about it in the past. I think I even was like mentioning it one time on here because I don't like to cause anybody pain, but sometimes I don't know. I guess I don't know exactly what the question is, and maybe she's not even around anymore. Jess, you could sting us much more than you do the power that Gemini tongue holds. You use it wisely. Well, thank you for noticing that, because and I'm not really trying to sting. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now for some reason. Gemini energy, like confuses in Gemini. So let me just finish this like Gemini thing. Thank you so much for saying that. I do get worried about it, and just know that I am an air sign. So I sometimes I can just be that like very cold, logical kind of energy, and that's just the way that I've kind of learned to navigate my life. And that communication energy for me, like it's ruled over by Virgo, which is earthy, and it exalts in Virgo. And I'm trying to kind of get there, but I have that it's just very air sign of me. I try to see like very clearly the patterns, like, and then describe it as clearly as I can. But I know I could get better about like softening the blow a little bit. But, okay. So I don't know. How do I feel about return to sender spells? You never seem cold to me, Jess. Okay. Good. The return to sender spells. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're very okay. Well, I'm glad that comes through. And to me, like sometimes there's like a paradox energy where like I think sometimes to be compassionate, you have to cut somebody off, or you have to be very clear or something. I don't know. Okay, so moving on to this, like, how do you feel about return to sender? I guess I'm just gonna talk about this. So I feel weird about spell work in general, which might sound like weird to some of you because I know that I do like the candles and everything, and I have like my own book of spells, but the bar that I hold myself to in regards of doing any kind of energy work, which to me spell work is energy work, the bar that I hold myself to is really, really high because in part I'm so uncomfortable with it. There's a part of me that feels like there's a way, just like anything, spell work in general to me, it's a tool, and you can use a tool well and you can use it towards positive ends, or you can use it poorly and sloppily or towards negative ends. And so I just tried to kind of like focus on that. I think that there are decidedly certain things about a person and in a person's life that you should never use spell work towards. I think you cheat yourself, and I think you cheat other people when you use spell work instead of learning the hard way, like paying your dues in a field, or using like learning certain skills. But I also feel like there's a huge energetic component to our world where energy is very much real and intentions very much matter. And I think that's a way in which that humanity has been kind of, part of me wants to use the word like enslaved, but I think what it is, it's more like kept on a certain level of consciousness, kept in a certain level of a holding pattern, because witches, as we know, have been scapegoated like kind of throughout history, blamed for a lot of things. And the church, the Catholic Church, especially in Christianity, has really dominated. And one thing that I noticed like in the church is we have prayers, right? Like even like our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. That to me is a spell, and it is the most perfect spell. I think when you really listen to that prayer, what else could you say? Like, what else could you ask for? But it's like, I think because of the patriarchal nature of the church and religion in general, it's very hierarchical. So it like kind of comes from the top down. And I don't really like that, because it's like, well, there's only certain prayers that we're allowed to say, because a prayer has a structure to it the same way a spell does, right? Because spells, when you follow the Wiccan Rede, it's like repetitive. You say it 3 times, like it's rhyming. It's and that all adds like power and infusions to that. And there's something about like those prayers being like, which are spells in my opinion, being passed down, that I think does add power to it, because your ancestors and so many people have said these prayers like throughout time, that to me makes me feel connected into something. But to me, spells are a combination of a prayer where you're asking for things. It's part declaration of I'm just declaring my intention and I'm declaring my energy. I'm declaring my allegiance to spirit, to God, to the higher energies. It's part communion, like with God. It's part artistic creation. It's so many things like wrapped up in one. And what I like about spell work as opposed to prayers, because to me they're kind of the same thing, but the prayer energy is more masculine and the spell energy is more feminine, is that we can all kind of create our own spells to set intentions in our space. And I feel like back in the day, I feel everything that I think that women kind of do naturally has spell work in it, because I feel like we're always trying to set our own intentions. And I always think about back in the day when they first created like a cake mix that was in a box. Originally, you didn't have to put an egg in it, because they were like, oh, this is meant to be like so easy. Everybody's so busy and everybody still has to have food. So you can just make this really easy. But women actually didn't like that at the store. They often selected cake mix that you at least had to put an egg in and maybe some oil or something like that, because it made them feel like they were cooking and they were giving something to their family. And it was the intention and the energy of love that went into it. And I feel spells are kind of like the same way. And the way that women kind of, not just women, men too, like this feminine side though, that like takes care of, okay, there's a negative energy that's trying to come in here right now. I'm just trying to pay attention to it because there's a certain pattern. And that's one thing that I think spells too. They break with a certain pattern, because the prayers, that it's always the same thing. You kind of, nobody's ever going to say a prayer. Well, I mean, you can pray to God like just as a conversation kind of a thing, but those prayers with the sting and the power and everything of it, they're only going to come through one way. But spells, to me, it's intention is what it is. It's intention setting and it's infusing that. So when you're making your own cleaners and stuff around your house, or you're cleaning your house, you're kind of also spreading around the intention of clearing and cleansing away and love and warmth and things like that. And so to me, that's what spell work is. And so when I get into things like I said, spell work, I think, should be kind of setting an energy intention around you, which a lot of times has to do with protection and honoring your own self-sovereignty, which kind of is the bridge into the return to sender spell. Because if you have to return to sender, in theory, right? If you send me a blessing and I return to sender, that's not going to hurt you, is it? Because it's a blessing, But if you send me some kind of negative intention and I return it to you, in a way, I kind of feel like it's the most benevolent thing that I could do, because it's not like I'm adding anything onto it. I'm just simply saying no and like returning that back. And you clearly thought that that was acceptable to send towards me. Like, I'm just going to send that back towards you. You are the one who started that energy. And it's kind of the thing of, I think, it highlights the trap that a lot of good people can get into with their actions just in general. Because when you think about like a really aggressive person coming at you, that's energetically, they can come at you energetically, but they can also come at you like trying to start a fight with you. And that's they're being very aggressive. They decided that there was going to be death and violence today, didn't they? They decided that. And you have every right to defend yourself. But a lot of times that mentality, it's got that gaslighter thing where the moment that you engage with it, it's going to point the finger at you and it's going to say, well, you were so aggressive. Well, this wouldn't have happened if you didn't do this. And they conveniently leave out the part where they are starting the aggression. And that I feel like is highlighted in the realm of spell work. If someone, they're a coward. If someone is sending you negative energy via spell work, they're just a coward. They're not even, they don't have the ability to like do that to your face or to just say what they actually mean. So it's sneakiness, like incarnate. And I just feel like, again, returning to sender, it's setting a boundary. It's kind of setting a boundary. And that energy has been created by that person. And you're just kind of like sending it. So she's saying here that she wants me to talk about give it to God versus return to sender. I mean, why can't you do both? And I don't know, to me, like return to sender seems like a very regular part of an energetic routine to have around yourself, of like, if anybody's sending me negative energy, because the energy has already been created. You don't want it to ricochet off towards somebody else if you just put like a barrier up, right? It should go back to the person who sent it, shouldn't it? Like, that's like that bare minimum fair. So I just feel like it's almost responsible is what I would say, because energy has been created and it's been flung towards you. You don't want it to hit you. You don't want it to just ricochet off in some kind of chaotic manner, any which way. And you're just very simply telling it where to go. which is back to the bullshit of whoever sent it, right? So to me, I don't know. It's just, I used to struggle with it a lot more because, again, I don't ever want to be the cause of it. But the thing to understand about a return to sender is you're not the cause of it. And it's that narcissistic quality of I've started something behind the scenes that's nefarious. That's where the nefarious energy originates from, is whoever sent that energy. And that's the start of it. You didn't start it. And I feel like if you have a question about this, it's probably because you are that good person and you have to kind of wade through, I call it the cult of niceness, where we were all indoctrinated into the cult of niceness. And to me, being truly nice and being truly good are two very different things, where it's like, well, I don't ever want to get involved in that. But nature is red with tooth and claw. It just is. People are going to come at you. That's all of life is kind of like that, where people, if a cat kills a mouse and eats a mouse, that mouse has accumulated energy over the course of its life. The cat eats it and acquires that energy. And that's a very natural kind of a thing. And if somebody is like, things are going to come at you, they just are. And it's, in a way, it's like kind of part of nature. But you can give it to God as well. Like you can do both and just say, like, may the higher energies like kind of bless this. And for me, one thing that I just like to do in all of my spell work is everything I do, I set my intention and I set it very clearly. And then I always defer it to God. If for some reason you think that this is inappropriate, don't do it. If this is not in alignment with the accordance of the universe, then don't do it. But I set my intention very clearly. I sit down. It's like I use spell work, like I said, to speak to God anyways. To me, that is me having a conversation with God. So I just say it. I say very clearly what I want. And then I say, and also if this isn't the case. And a lot of times, if something comes up for me in that space where I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily truth, then I can do my shadow work around that and kind of like parse out what I'm saying. But how I feel about spell work and how you feel about it might be entirely different. But to me, I have very strong ideals or stipulations about how I think that spell work should be used. And I don't think it should be in every arena of life. I think it should be used sparingly and in certain arenas to do certain things, to clear out anybody else's energy that's in your space that might be affecting your life patterning that's negative. I think it should be used to cut cords. I think it should be used for energetic protection, those kinds of things. But I don't think that it should be used in devil energy, ever. I don't think spell work should ever be used in devil energy to get something quickly, to override someone's sovereignty, to avoid doing work to get yourself to like come to some kind of acceptance. And when somebody's sending you negative energy, I don't know what you're supposed to process about that. I accept that you're an asshole, and I don't know. But I also think that you have a right to defend yourself. I think everything, just like certain things, it's part of nature, it's going to come at you. You have every right to defend yourself. And you don't always just need to defer to God and be like, well, I don't want to do it. You do it. No, you're ferocious too. You can hold your ground too. You have every right to defend yourself from a nefarious energy that's trying to send some fucked up shit towards you. You have every right to do that. But the other stipulation to that is you have to admit that maybe you're wrong. I've had people that, have written me about, their candles and such. And they're like, well, I'm going to come at this person. Well, the thing about me is I don't know you and I don't know them. I have studied psychology in school, and I know that people can be unreliable narrators. So I'm not just going to co-sign everything that somebody writes towards me. That's also why all my candles and stuff, we've got certain stipulations where if this is not in fact the truth, because how many times have you been wrong in your life? You know what scares me more than anything is people who cannot admit that they've been wrong and that they might be wrong in this situation. That's what scares me more than anything, is the righteousness that someone can get carried away with and therefore feel justified in taking an aggressive action towards someone who's actually very innocent or who's just doing regular, normal human things. I never want to like kind of co-sign that with someone. So for me, it's a matter of understanding that people, including yourself, can sometimes be an unreliable narrator. So if you're just returning to sender, just in a general sense, that spell can only be engaged when someone's sending something towards you. But if you are asking to go on the offense, that's something that I don't, I would be much more wary about doing that, you know? Someone using your candle that was set with intentions to warp it and use it for bad will have serious consequences. They will definitely have consequences. But I do have like intentions where like spirit is supposed to help work with them, to show them where they're wrong, to show them where they have the wrong perspective, to illuminate the better path, the thing that they think they want. Because that's the thing too. It's like when we have to admit that sometimes we're unreliable narrators and that we don't know the things going on in our own mind. What we have to admit is that you want a certain outcome, and sometimes we don't know how to get there. We think we do, and so sometimes you can be attached to the middleman. Like I was saying in pile number 2, somebody thinks, oh, I have to destroy Athena. But that's the middleman, because they think that destroying Athena is their purpose, and they think that it's going to give them something else. They're wrong. In pile number 2, they're wrong. But they don't know that. And they want to connect with their purpose, and they want maybe some kind of sense of success or accomplishment that they think that that's going to give them. It won't, because they're entirely wrong about the way that they've couched the situation. So like what my candles are supposed to do for you is to help you understand, well, this is what I want, but it's not actually coming from this thing that I thought it was coming from. Here's the better approach, kind of a thing, you know? Yeah. You can give the truth in kindness and stand up for yourself in both kindness and strength. They may not think that your truth is kind, but it is. Yeah. And you know what? I'm also a firm believer in there's certain situations where it's absolutely okay to let somebody know you think that they're a dick and that they're out of pocket and that you don't fuck with them. Like, and you don't have to agree with me on that. I'm just saying, like, in my life, I've kind of come to understand that. Yeah. When the negative is sent to a high vibration, I believe if we send it back, it goes through us and automatically fills with the light of God anyways. Yeah. And you can also add other stipulations to returning to sender as well, you know, where it's like, I don't know, like you alert other people around this person to the fact that maybe they're not so great. So it helps to protect other people. You know what I'm saying? Or free it. Like if they try to send you a negative entity or something, just be like, I set you free. Like go be free somewhere, you know? Yeah. So I hope that answered your question. It's not, there's a very negative energy that's trying to get through here right now. Very negative. Let me just see why. Hypnosis, sleep, hypnosis. It's trying to sneak around. Why? Altruism. Okay. This is an energy that wants you to be wrongly dedicated to altruism, to feel like you need to be good in the face of it, that you need, and that's a way of getting you to invest in it energetically, or like that you need to, because if you're altruistic in the face of that, I just feel like there are situations where it's inappropriate to do that. And I wouldn't have said that before. I've had to learn that, like I said, in my life. It's dedicated to some kind of Dionysus energy, to keeping you scrambled, to keeping you confused, to keep you from starting over, starting some kind of new beginning. What does this negative energy want, Spirit? It's got a plan. This negative energy has a plan. It's very structured and it's very organized here. It wants some kind of gateway. It's trying to find an opening. It's trying to find a chink in the armor. And I think it thinks that your altruism is a chink in the armor of that you will suffer a fool lightly. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't suffer a fool lightly. You have very beautiful energy and not everybody deserves that energy. This is a very egotistical energy. Mm-hmm. The Metamystic said, I feel like people like us actually need to be less altruistic. Like, yeah, like it's okay to kind of reel it in. Because it's giving like doormat energy of like, it's trying to keep you at war with yourself. To where if you're being altruistic to somebody else, this is the thing to always ask yourself. If you're being altruistic to somebody else, are you being altruistic to yourself? Are you being loving to yourself? Because it should never come at a cost of you being loving and considerate of yourself. And if somebody's sending you negative energy, well, you've had to deal with a lot, haven't you? You know, you've had to deal with a lot. And it seems to me like this energy it wants power and it's very strategic in the way that it goes about things. So it's like thinking ahead, and it thinks it wants you to demonize being strategic, you know? What does this energy want? It wants addiction. It wants fear. In order to gain a relationship or about relationships, what does this energy want? It's like trying to get in. Fear, breakup, addiction. Afraid, uneasy, suspicion, scared. It wants us to be scared. It wants us to be suspicious. That's what I'm saying. It's like just, and if spell work is a way that you can connect with yourself and like push yourself out and you know your own energy out to give you to set your own intentions here. No, you shouldn't feel bad about doing that. Grass is greener. Jealousy, better option. Unhappy, deserve better. I feel like this is a very jealous energy and it wants what you have. Reconciliation, reunion, second chance, back together, I miss you. Unexpected, surprise, shocking, unusual, unpredictable. It's not unusual. This is reminding me of pile number 2 as well. It's not unusual. This person or this energy has one trick and it's just to sneak around and ambush. You've seen it before. Anything else, Spirit? Protected. Yeah, you're protected. You are safe and divinely guided. So that's the perfect thing to end on here with our spell work conversation. You are safe and divinely guided. So if you're divinely guided to use spell work to protect your space, then use it to protect your space. Forgiveness. Forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward. Decision. It's time to decide about this relationship. What is?
Because everything on our end looks great.
Yeah.
But lots of people are saying that there's like been some audio glitches and everything.
Uh-huh.
But people are also noting that every time you really get into like addressing some kind of nastiness that's
in,
this always happens.
Yeah. So if you're experiencing some kind of audio glitching, maybe you are called upon to set more of a container around your space. If everything's okay on our end, you know what I'm saying? It's like, shore things up on your end. You might be called to use spell work or intention setting. It might be time to cleanse out your space. There's an awakening. Both people in this connection are undergoing spiritual transformations. Unavailable. Just be unavailable here and be protected. But I've noticed that too. It's like every time I try to get into like describing this energy, it tries to use that as a form of attack. It really likes attention. Like it likes to be acknowledged in this space and talked about directly. And if we need to talk about it directly, then we will. But not every time do I take the time to do this decision. It's time to decide. Finances, financial challenges are affecting this connection. I feel like whatever this is, like they are not doing well financially. They're wanting some kind of like reconciliation with you or something because they feel like you're their ticket to success. Yeah, you can also ask Jesus to send angels to guard your body, soul, and space. Yeah. It's trying to pretend to be a masculine energy. It's not. This is feminine. But also I think like the same is true, like where I think it's a masculine energy that tries to be a feminine. Leap of faith, strictly sexual. It wants somebody here to take a leap of faith into something maybe that's strictly sexual. Second chance and acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. This is an energy that's trying to make you feel destined, like it's destined or something, but it's actually just an addiction. It wants to make you cry. This decision card, like it's time to decide about this relationship. It's trying to put its energy like back in front of you. I'm just going to see, like, are you getting anything, babe, that you want to share? Like, I have loads of glitching. I feel like you're onto this energy. This is so crazy because I feel it's trying to like grab at my jaw. It's trying to like make me say certain things. And I think it wants me to tell you not to defend yourself against it, that it's wrong for you to defend yourself against it, that you have to believe everything that it's saying. And I think that's the exact wrong thing. I think that your lesson is to stand up to this energy and to learn whatever you need to learn in terms of how to do it. But this is a defensive energy. I'm not telling you to go on the offense of anything. It wants you to just surrender. It wants you to be a sitting duck. You are so protected, and that's why it's mad. You are so protected. from its bullshit. It wants you to come back. This is an energy from your past that you left. It wants you to go back to an unsafe space. And I just ask why. And it's like for some kind of secret. Look, okay, somebody did say that it's a feminine that's trying to act like it's a masculine. And look, this is it. Like this is this queen of, I just felt that so strongly. This is the energy here. It's this queen of pentacles. The lovers, the wheel of fortune wants to change your fate or your destiny with this lover's energy. Is trying to maybe draw you into a trap or doesn't want you to find peace and like an equal lovers situation, wants to ruin that. Why? Because they want to be the queen. They want to win. This is an energy that wants to win. But they want to do it behind somebody's back here. And I think it's yours. Like it's kind of giving that hypnosis, sleep kind of energy. Wants a new beginning, wants somebody here burdened and to feel responsible. I feel like they want you to be the scapegoat. They want you to make they have a plan to make you responsible or like you the scapegoat, to warp the truth in some way and to try to they want to suck you back into an environment, to a situation that's under their purview and under their control, even if that's something that you don't readily see. So that it looks like you are the person that should receive some kind of chastisement or some kind of judgment. And it could be this King of Cups. Remember, so they could be trying to pretend like they're this masculine, that they like love you or something, that they're a masculine that loves you. Or maybe this is somebody around a masculine. They could be this person's partner that's probably feels very called out in these messages, or their mother. This could be this masculine's mother. And this 5 of Swords. This is the Aries energy. This is in pile number 2. So if this is resonating, I feel like go back to pile number 2. This is the Aries energy. It's a feminine energy. You are the Athena energy. Do not get sucked back in. There's a strategic energy here, and they might want to seem like sad. I think that they want to stage that like you and this masculine had some kind of an affair. So that, and it makes it look like you were hiding secrets, or that, and they want to cause some kind of like ending for you to make like you cry. They want to frame you is what it is. They want it to frame you, but they want to do such a good job of it that you believe it yourself, that you believe that you're responsible yourself. Or, oh my gosh, literally my stomach just started feeling like nervous. Like, I feel like that is it. Like they're nervous that like I called that out or something. They want you to feel alone. It's their wish fulfillment to see you alone. So they don't want anybody coming. And I feel like maybe they want to ruin your reputation so that like anybody that would show interest in you in this like lover's energy, they can be like, oh yeah, that person like had an affair like with my person, or was trying to have an affair with my person or something. They're trying to get you. Yeah. They want people to be like, like, look, they want people to be like, you're such a bad person. You're the manipulative one. When really it's this person. And I think this person has magical capability. Or they hired somebody who does. They're trying to give the impression that maybe there's a masculine energy here that's like sorry and wants to apologize to you and views you as the higher cup or something, but it's them. They're like laughing, like they are manipulative. They want to confuse you, to lure you into some kind of trap, some kind of energetic trap. This is exactly what they want to do. The homewrecker wants the partner they screwed over to be seen as a homewrecker. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it, actually. Somehow people think solitude is a punishment, right? They want you defensive and on the back foot. They want you to not be able to protect yourself from some kind of message. They want to say something, like accuse you of something, and they want it to land and they want it to hurt. They want to brand you with their words. I just saw a brand, but with some kind of label, homewrecker or liar, stealer, cheater. Like they want to brand you with that. Meanwhile, this person is they're so pissed. This person is so angry and they want to go at it. They really do. They want like a rebirth, a new cycle, but it feels like with you, this person, there could be a child here. They could even want you to like have a child this is a nutter. This person is off their fucking rocker. Okay. This person is like such a nut job. And like, that's the thing. Once you unmask it, see how like, I can't help but be like, wow, like you're just like laugh at it and you're like, wow, what a nutbag. Like that's the correct energy to have towards this person. They really want you to cry. They want, They want to be seen as the star. This is like destiny swapping. They're trying to do that, but this isn't destiny swapping. This is because they still won't get your destiny. But it's like they want to be seen in the light that you're actually seen in. And they feel like you have all the power or that you got away from this. Stay away from this. Like whatever it is, it's not like actually real. We are protected. Pretty sure she told me she's bipolar. We're so strong, sovereign, and loved in here. Yeah, and I feel like that's another thing. Like, there's safety in numbers, and women know that, right? You know that you're safer in a group of women than you are. Like, you can easily get picked off, like, out of this. So I think it's also trying to scare you about, like, being here with us, like, actually doing the shadow work. This is the kind of energy that wants you to think that, like, this is evil, you know, and that you should really, like, leave. Yeah, judgment. Some kind of, like, judgment. This person is a nutter. They really are. They're just attacking your mind. They want to attack your mind in some kind of way. Why? Because this is you. So you're basically winning, or like you've already won, is kind of what I want to say. You've removed yourself from this cycle, whatever this cycle is, and you are in sovereign territory, and your mind energy is like really glowing. So spirit, like because they're trying to really, there's a power to this energy. Like they don't have the power to overpower you. They do not, like, you are the one that's in control of your own. He reminds me of the short prince in Shrek. I'm crying. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Yes, like this is the energies. Keep speaking this like into the space. Yeah, they want to be seen as like the empress, and they're really not. They want to be seen as abused. They want to be seen as, but they want to be seen as your victim. Oh my gosh, this is reminding me of like, there's a scene in Cinderella. You know that Lucifer, the cat? The cat whose name is literally Lucifer. Oh my gosh. And you know, Bruno is the dog. And Bruno is like so sweet and kind of goofy, you know, and like, you know, out in the yard. But then the cat like scratches the dog and then like lays out in front of the dog. And to make it seem like, and then Bruno gets yelled at. That's reactive abuse. That's what this person wants. They want to cause some kind of reactive abuse. This is an extreme nutter. This is a negative, nasty person. They wanted to seem like you had an affair. They might be telling people that you had an affair with someone. No, they're not. This person is very like spiteful. I just heard they hate you. They're keeping their cards close to their chest. They're very secretive about something. They could even be saying like, I don't know, there's just not something right about that person, so that they can set things up. This is an extremely strategic person. Very nefarious, evil, devilish, Luciferian. I just heard Luciferian. They use demonic energies. Whatever magic they have, it's of the demon frequency. There's some kind of karma that they're getting though, and it's of a blockage. Huh. Narc. So spirit, what do they need to take away from this? They want this to be progressive, like whatever this is. They're trying to like clear the air, maybe with like a message. It's going to seem really interesting or something. And it's like the Knight of Rods, which is like fuckboy energy. Or in and out, which is reminding me of like the audio. They want something to be in and out so that you will walk away. Because I just saw the 8 of Cups. Yeah, because they want you to walk away. And then they want you to go into the forest. Little Red Riding Hood. And like that's where the wolf is. Oh, what big teeth you have. Granny, what big eyes you have. This is a wolf that is not in sheep's clothing, in Granny's clothing. And they want you to run back to them. This is an energy that maybe wants you to seek out them for support. And I really think for a lot of you, this person's like delusional. Because I think even if you needed support, you would never go to this person. They want maybe certain people to see you leave a group or something like that. And to reveal the truth about like this star energy, maybe about the truth about where you were when you were away, or the truth about like your healing, or the truth about like your difference, because they want to frame it as something bad, something wrong, at least to a King of Pentacles. So they could be trying to get between you and this King of Pentacles, but I wouldn't trust this King of Pentacles as well. If they're in any way, shape, or form attached to this other lady, what if it's their mom, if it's their coworker, if it's their whoever this is. It's a one-trick pony. It's the same tricks with different looks. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Death of... Just end communication here. I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't know between... They want somebody here to see you as somebody different. Maybe somebody who's in and out of your life, or they want you to... They want them to see you as strategic and as having broken their heart. Because I don't think that's the way it's seen right now. Tell me about this person. Like, what's going on in this person's life right now? They're on the outside looking in. Maybe to this masculine. They're on the outside looking in of this masculine's life. They're watching this masculine energy build something. And they are sorry. Maybe about being this... I think they've been called out. I think this is a person who's been called out in their Queen of Rods behavior. Or there was some kind of accident that like separated the two of them. So they want to like get back in this person's good graces, and they've been watching this person like from the shadows. So this is a delusional person who's absolutely crazy. I feel like they think that they're the pile number 3 person. I don't read for this energy. I don't read for this individual. I refuse. I've already said that I don't pick up on this person's energy. So they are watching my reading. If this is you and you're doing this, you're watching my readings and you're just getting yourself further and further in delusion, because I refuse to read for your energy. It's going to look very similar to like what your situation is, but it's just not the truth. And so I feel like maybe they're going to hear things in my readings or in other readers' readings who also have very strong energetic boundaries. And they're going to think, oh yeah, that's me and that's my situation. And then nothing's going to work. They're trying to get back in this masculine's like good graces because they want a lover situation with whoever this masculine is. And maybe for some of you, you are actually the masculine, or like you're in your masculine energy because you had to sever away and like build something. But I actually think that this is somebody who wants like a lover situation. They want to they want that. They want to go around again with the masculine. So I feel like this person's also been flung out. They've been flung out of this masculine's life. And they're not seen in a positive light, actually. And so they want to flip the way that they're seen. And the way that something to do with the past is seen. Because I think there was like some kind of weird sexual energy between them and this, and it wasn't good. And this masculine also wants nothing to do with them. Okay, I feel like this tear energy, I feel like they're trying to cry because they want a competition here. But again, this is not a situation where competition, this masculine's heart is not for the, I want to say this is a karmic. This masculine's heart is not for this karmic. They're not interested in this karmic naturally. This is not a space for war or competition. This is like, do you want to be with this person? I think the answer is very clearly no. And they just don't feel that way towards this person. They feel that way maybe towards you, and this person's like trying to cause a fight, or I think they could be trying to cause a fight here between you and this masculine. Yeah, and weirdly, they need you to do this. Like they felt like lacking when you left and you didn't engage in a fight with them. You didn't engage in a fight with them, and so they thought that they were going to be like the queen of the world or something. But actually this masculine was like just anxious and like nervous and like pulled back like in a big way. Even if these two people are like in a relationship together, like they're not really. This is like avoidant or something here. So that pissed them off. And so they feel like they need you to come back because I think they thought that getting rid of you was going to solve the problem. But it doesn't. But this person's like just smart enough to be strategic and terrible, but they're not smart enough to know that like this masculine's heart, I just keep hearing it. This masculine's heart is not for them. And nothing that they do, say, strategize around, no spell that they can cast, nothing will ever make it so because God has created each one of us. God is the one who has formed each of our hearts. God is the one that has formed all of us and this entire situation here. They're rivaling with God is what they're rivaling with. They want this masculine to rescue them, to feel like they need to rescue them. I think from you. They need you to be the bad guy here. This is so nutty. So he isn't for anybody, baby girl. That man is for the streets. Yeah. So what is this person, what's going on with this karmic? As soon as I turned the light on this person, that's when they like get scared. This person is actually very sad. And they're feeling nervous, like in their heart energy. This person feels very empty. They're sneaking around because they want a victory. It's everything that I've already described. This is the kind of energy that this person is, though. It's everything that I've already described in the other piles. They're so dense that they don't get it. They really are still trying it. This is the person that just like will never learn. Spirit, what's like ahead for this person? I feel like reprisal. Spirit is like stepping in to like, this feels like a rod, like a punishing rod, actually. This person's going to get punishment. And I don't usually say punishment, but like this person's going to get punishment. They're going to be made responsible for something here. There's judgment. This judgment energy is like, they can't avoid it. It's turning back around on them because they're a fool. This person is like a fool in sheep's clothing is what I'm getting. They see themselves as the big bad wolf and they want you to see them as that too. This masculine thinks that he was a fool for involving with this karmic, and it cannot be any other way. Who is this person? They are so defensive. They really tried to get you up in your head. They really tried to get you up in your head. They were trying to get everything and everyone around you to mirror back something false about you. They wanted you not to see your own power, your own sexiness. They wanted you to feel controlled. They wanted you to feel like you were under their authority, but not be seen doing it. This is a very sadistic person that takes pleasure in your suffering. And weirdly, I think you're the fixation here, not this masculine. I think you are the fixation here. And it's maybe because they see this masculine fixated on you. But why are you... They feel something's not fair. I think they think because this masculine's interested in you, something's not fair. They think it's not fair. They think it's not... That's... Why are... What? What is their fixation with you? It's because they feel like they need to vanquish you because they feel alone, okay? And they're supposed to feel alone. They are supposed to go like internal, and this has everything to do with the phase of their life. They could be older, but not for all of them. They could just feel like less attractive or something like that. They want a victory, and they want people's attention to see them as the victor, them as having vanquished you in some way, overcome you. They want to surprise people. Again, it's the same fucking trick, isn't it? Because it's sneaking around to ambush. But the sneaking around is this person. See, God sees all, karma sees all. So this is the truth. God is truth. You can obscure the truth, but it always comes out in the end. The truth is that this person has been sneaking around behind the scenes, and that could be in terms of spell work, but it's like they've tried to set up certain dominoes behind the scenes to where people see them as being dominant. They see them as the victor, seeing them as triumphing over you in some way, possibly to do with, and they need, that's to do with the King of Pentacles. You're not concerned about this King of Pentacles but this person views this man as the trophy. I win if I get this man. And I don't think that they can even get this man for long. I don't think this man is at all interested in them in the way that they want him to be. Even if they get this man in a whole ass marriage or baby trap him or something, he still doesn't want this person. And so the best they can do is like just keep trying over. It's folly. It's youthful folly is what I'm hearing, which I think is from the I Ching. But yeah, so that's the only way that they can rival you is by turning this man into a trophy. And you don't think this man's the trophy. If he's your soulmate, then that's one thing. But that's not the same thing as being an object. And it's not the same thing as being a trophy. And, but they have to get this man because that's the only way that they can prove their worth. And, oh, see, I got this and therefore I'm the winner. And you're like, you're not the winner. You've debased yourself 7 ways till Sunday. You and this person are so not the same. This is going back to pile number 2 for me. You're just not the same. You don't see that as a win. For this person to have debased themselves, for them to feel as insecure, to behave in this way to begin with, there is no loss bigger than this. They can't lose more than they already did. They've lost themselves. They've lost their dignity. They've lost their connection to spirit and to innocence and to the truth and the light. Who would want this man if you've got to subvert yourself in such a manner? How can you possibly classify that as a win? How can you classify that as a win? But for this sadistic person, it is seeing you cry and other people being like, wow, that person is really the winner. They're not. They don't view, this person's delusional. People don't even view them this way. They have just changed their own destiny here. They wanted to upend your destiny. And they wanted a masculine to see them as their victory. Because they wanted something traditional. They want to be seen as something traditional. and they wanted you to leave. But you leaving, nothing is the same. Because they thought that they could just remove you from the picture, take your place, and everything would go on as normal. But as it turns out, I feel like there's a group here involved as well. And everybody has a soul connection to you, like a genuine soul connection. So this isn't the same. You were kind of like this. It's like this person went into your remit. Something that's like you are supposed to be there, like with these other people. And it all fell apart when you left. Because you were actually like the gravity holding it together. Wisdom. This person lacks wisdom. They don't see it clearly either. You are the heart. You are the center. You are the heart. You are the center of something here. And it ceases to exist without you. They're trying to go back to the past. They want to have they have some kind of, this is everything that I just said. They want to have some kind of secret relationship with a masculine. They think it's the lovers, or they want him to think it's the lovers, but really this person is like devoid of emotion. And tell me why they can't get this masculine's attention without you. It's like they can only draw him back, his attention at the very least, back if you're there. I mean, you lost. If this is a competition, you lost right there. It doesn't matter what else unfolds. You can't get this man's attention without dragging somebody else back to the middle. You lost. You're a loser. Period. This person sees that. They're trying to pollute their own mind about it. Don't. If this is you, set yourself free. I don't understand this. Why do you not want to set yourself free from this? Why keep going around? That's the truth. Why do you keep obscuring that? You want to go around again. What do you gain? It's nothing changes the truth. God is the truth. You will not change God. Okay? That's something you need to get your head around. You're so mad. You're so mad. You want to control the truth. You want to control a new beginning. And you want somebody to think that you won. I think it's impossible. I think it's impossible for this person to see you as a winner in this situation. I just think that it's not possible. What you define as a win, this person does not define as a win. This person is mad. There is a masculine that is looking for you, longing for you. They see that very clearly. And they feel like they bring everything to the table. And it feels unfair to them because they feel like they bring everything to the table, but they don't. They're delusional. How can you behave in such a manner and think that you bring everything to the table? Think that you're noble, think that you are stable. It's very much like what you're looking for has been here the whole time. But no, it's not. I feel like they were just a fling from this person's past. And it was like all delusional, and maybe it was like drunk, and they were just like friends, and it meant nothing. Yeah. Ew, this person's targeting me and specifically too. Cause like, look, the negativity, the trying to stop like went away. And I was like, why did it go away? Why is it like letting me speak? And look, focus, death, leadership, fear, protection, and new beginnings. They're afraid. They want to protect their ability to be delusional and to try to go after a new beginning. Oh, because my focus turned on them. This person is so self-obsessed. They think they have the golden cup. This person is so delusional. Behaving like this person thinks they have the golden cup. And they want to lure you in. They want to tempt you in with something in order to eat you and throw you out of your own kingdom. And they feel like it's not fair that you don't go to... This is so pile number 2. They want power. They want to hold the keys to the kingdom, to your kingdom. This is an evil person. I just feel like nothing's going to get through to this person. That they're in the wrong. They're angry at guidance. They're angry at like you receiving guidance. They want to put an obstacle to some kind of... They want to be the obstacle. Okay, so remember I said that God is the obstacle in one of the piles? They want to be the obstacle. They want to be in control. This person's so controlling. They could be Saturnian force, like older maybe, or like grayscale. That's what I feel like. I feel like this person's like grayscale compared to you. They want to be the Helen of Troy. They want to be the person that's like fought after or something, that's seen as like the damsel in distress. And they're not. And they want... This is so fucked up. I don't think you even want to be seen as the damsel in distress, but I feel like you genuinely are. Like, I don't know that you're in distress, but it's like you genuinely have been targeted by this person. But they're trying to like flip that energy. This is such a fucked up person. I just hope that you stay away from them. Anyways, I think I'm done with this. Okay. Hey, babe. People are maybe trying to get your attention. Okay. Light of Love, thank you so much for the super chat. This is weird. This is weird because also this is coming through as a general message and a lot of people are kind of like connecting with that. I wonder the consequences for this behavior. I mean, like part of it is like they will not heal. I don't know. I think I'm done looking into this because I feel like I've said everything, honestly, in this pile. But this is like such a stubborn energy. And they genuinely feel like they are in the right. They think that they are the prize that they should be fought over. They're not being fought over because this masculine doesn't have an interest in them. And they feel like that's wrong because they feel like they bring everything to the table, but they don't because they're treacherous. They are sneaky. And this is the kind of person that buys their own bullshit where they have to sneak around in order to prevent people from getting what they want. Like the thing is, if this person was actually this masculine soulmate, they would have let this masculine get together with you because it naturally would have fallen apart if they're genuinely the soulmate. And then that's when he would have recognized it. But they knew that that's not what your relationship together was. And so, yeah, this is just a very, yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that there. What a weird reading. We sell candles. I talked a lot about energy work, spell work, which to me it's kind of the same thing. Earlier. So if you liked what I had to say about that and my approach to those things, then we do sell the Everyday Magic Candle, which is like intention setting candles. We infuse the waxes with certain intentions, and we have dragon's blood resin shavings on top, which is like an enhancer quality to the power of the intentions. We've got wood wicks on there. Everything has been thought of in regards to those candles, and we've got ones with certain intentions, protection, goal-oriented energies. Auric Soothe is one that I've been talking about a lot to kind of purge and soothe your auric field. We also do custom candles where if you have a specific intention that you don't feel like is covered by one of the other ones, you can get that. And you can also choose your own scent with the custom candle. So even if you want like the protection candle, let's say, but you want it to have a certain scent, then we can do that for you. But yeah, so that's the everyday magic candle. And then of course we sell scented candles, which don't have any specific intention attached to them. They're like a regular scented candle, but they do use very high quality ingredients, which is 100% soy wax. And you got to watch it because some candles say 100% soy wax, but then they also have additives in order to make the wax like very smooth. Ours doesn't have those additives in it. We use very clean wicks that are not, it's like as clean as you can get. And we use clean scents, like the cleanest scents on the market, and really good scents for right now. Fresh Start is a good one. Fresh Start is our number one selling scent, I'm pretty sure, of all time. It's like a crisp, oh, it's not?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's like a crisp scent, but to me it also has like a warmth to it, which I like in my space. It's like, I don't know, if you wash like a cashmere luxurious sweater or something and like sniffed it just fresh out the dryer, it has that kind of warm, clean kind of scent to it. Hedge Witch is a classic spring scent. It smells like being in a spring garden at like early morning hours with the birds chirping. To me, that's like it's classic. It is very flowery, kind of fragrant. It's got a lot of rose and like mint kind of energies to it. It feels very elegant, like Secret Garden, kind of like, in my opinion. But other good candles for now too, the Moonlit Beach and the Sunnyside are really, really good. Both the Moonlit Beach and the Sunnyside have this kind of vacation quality to it, almost like a soft spa kind of quality, almost, if you like that, like lotiony, getting a massage kind of quality. I will say this, Moonlit Beach, once that fragrance is out, which we're not close to it being out, but because one of the fragrance oils, and it's actually my favorite fragrance, they stopped making that, but so we can't reorder more. And usually they're replacing it with something that they think is like better, but that hasn't happened yet. So Moonlit Beach is honestly one of my favorite scents. It is so calming. It smells like being on a moonlit beach, like on vacation somewhere. It's got that tropical kind of soothing, calm vibe to it. I love that. Sunnyside, it feels very sunny. It feels soft, relaxing, sunny, smooth, and it's such a classic scent. And I really have liked mixing the Sunnyside scent with the protection candle recently. I don't know why, but like the sun energy, like with the protection. But so those are all really good for like spring into summertime scents that we have so far. Really good ones. I think they're really good ones. And yeah, so if you're interested in those, we have a website. It's on Etsy. But you don't need candles like this. You are the magic. You are a manifesting being. And if you feel drawn to work with candles and you want something that's really high quality and you feel like this is something that you can swing at this time, then, maybe consider our candles, but don't feel like you need to buy anything. You have an innate connection to source, So, and also I'm just a candle girly. I like candles. I like scents, but I also want it to be clean and crisp and, safe to burn, and our candles we really try to focus on the quality, and I like for them to be elegant and simple, and I feel like we've really accomplished that. So, all right.
T says, any advice specifically for the truth serum candle? There came in the mail today.
I don't have any advice for that. Did you get the card that came with it too? Because we also send like intention setting cards. So just like spending some time to really get clear on what your intention is. I like to, write the intention down and then like slide the card under the candle or just around the candle. Because those candles, when they get to the end, especially if you're going to burn it for long periods of time, they can burn kind of hot, which is like the vessel kind of hot, which is why we also sell the coasters too. If you want to like keep it under, especially if you have like a lot of, like we have IKEA furniture, which isn't the most robust. So we have a lot of that.
Advice for any.
It's just good advice for any candles. Yeah. But yeah, just spend some time with it. And then I like to whisper my intention and light the candle with my breath first, and then light it with the actual flame. Okay, yeah, we didn't do the bunny butt. Bunny butt, bunny, bunny, bunny butt, bunny butt, bunny, bunny, bunny butt. We're all such freaks. All right. Nice. I don't make these, but I got this at Target. In the $5 section. It is kind of weird that it doesn't have a face. Like, it's just a little bit weird, but like, I don't know. We had to close this with some booty shake. I agree. So on that beautiful bootylicious note, I'm gonna close out. My voice is starting to go here. What a weird, strange reading. Sometimes that happens, that like very negative energy, but you're overcoming it. I can tell. Like, it feels like you've already overcome it and you're in sovereign territory, and the only thing it can do is try to pull you back in. So just set your intentions in your space. Again, you don't need to buy our candles in order to do that. I have to sell stuff because we live in a capitalist society. We all have to make ourselves like productive, like in our world. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to have made something that I really like, I use personally, and I believe in. But
if we found something that worked this well, or that was this quality that somebody else was doing, we wouldn't have even bothered.
That's actually true. But yeah. Anyway. All right. Nice. Okay, have a good time. I'm going to wrap this up. Bye, guys.